Lick it up. Lick it up. On the mic. Right up on the mic. Waiting for it to load. I'm probably too loud, but my phone didn't load, and I wanna hear what you hear. Wanna hear, but earlobe. I wanna buy a GoPro, and then exchange the old hoe. I get $100. Where is it unload? Yotobe. Gotta get it mojo. Old movie. Does it even appear on our page? Nose blow. So cold. YouTube Studio channel. There it is. I can listen to my own self. Own self. I guess it really doesn't clip. Huh. Oh, okay. So all the compressor working on both ends probably is going to work like this. Nick,
talking, doing the thing where I talk. Humans and other people.
Yeah.
I'm Greg Gagne, and I'm in a rage.
All right, we're fine.
I want Brody, and I want him in a cage. My flying drop kick will make him see double. I'll grind him up fast at the Wrestle Rock Rumble.
I'm probably going to mute myself when I have to sniffle my nose. So hello, welcome. That was sound check, and now we are going to hold for sound.
Welcome, everyone, to RCR Podcast number 83, Sober October. I'm Nick.
And I'm Brian. Welcome to Sober October, a month long of no booze. And also no pastry snacks, which I live for because I can't fly first class anymore or fly in general. So for the past year, every time we've done these things, I have been drinking during these podcasts. And now I'm not. I'm coming down off of the incredible amount of coffee that I had at the cafe because we were writing a future review. And I used to just cushion my landing with beer during these podcasts because these podcasts normally follow our writing sessions, but not the case now. So I have to get up out of this chair and open the blinds so there's a little bit more light in my face.
That's some fine light in there.
Let the sun shine in. I'm gonna name my son Quinn. And I only love him if he wins. I'm gonna be a sports dad. But there is no sports, so I became a politicking dad. And I sold my motorcycle. So now I have some cash to buy something stupid like a delightful shit box. So that could be a project car. It's halfway between finding a 6-speed Camry. That's 2011 to 2013 when they had the stick shift Camry and the blobbiest of body styles. or buying a $2,000 shit box. Yeah, they used to be $900 shit boxes, but somehow the economy is down, but car prices are up. So figure that one out. I don't have an answer for you.
It's hard to really know one way or the other.
Right.
I mean, you see there are so many options right now, and part of it is trying to whittle things down to something that is reasonable, not just for sort of project dad time to work on, but something that people are going to want when it's done, because flipping a car is not just about finding something that works for you. It's something that you think you can sell. So yeah, it's kind of hard to really nail that
buying
down.
An Oldsmobile Cutlass Sierra that people think is worth $2,200.
Yeah.
Never making your money back on that.
No, that's not happening.
No, you'd have to have like a Justin Kramer around. Like no matter what thing you'd buy, you're going to be fixing like stuff that's easy for him. Like, oh, we got to do the head gasket, which means the engine has to come out, but he's doing it for funsies. So you're getting a real mechanic to do this, as opposed to two English majors in a garage and like a bunch of Ryorbi tools.
Yeah.
Hoovie's Garage RCR edition says Murray Mackin. I don't know what that means. It means, do I go and see Hoovie, or do I just, I bought the cheapest expensive car and people want to drive around in my Murcielago and people think I'm rich. Buy a Cavalier Z24. No, not buying a Cavalier because I don't know. I guess they were better than the Neons in the 90s.
I suppose.
I feel bad. Like I should be outside doing things right now because it's that beautiful, beautiful weather. But I'm just editing RCR all week and all the past week. I want a break, but I want to take a week off from doing RCR and just enjoy myself, but there's nothing to do. I guess in the summer, it didn't feel that way since I was outside jogging all the time and, riding my bicycle. But now I'm inside just a little bit more. And I'm like, man, I really could get out of here, but I don't know where to go. Yeah. It's just going to be either somebody else's house doing outdoor activities in a different part of the country, because I'm sure not going to be in a hotel.
Well, no.
What am I going to do? Hang around the lobby and watch the news? Ugh. Someone says camping. Yeah, I should go camping. Just need someone to camp with who like wants to get out and go in the woods and be smelly. The AT shelters, I think, are technically closed, but I haven't even been on the AT at all this year.
Why would they be closed? Like even with
it's like physically you can't close them.
Yeah,
but I don't know who's out there enforcing that you can't stay. Like, can you not sleep in them, or can you not be around them? I don't know. The ATC is an volunteer thing, and who knows what. You'd have to go to like a shelter off the AT where, like no trail runners or anything would come across you.
Yeah,
like that would be difficult to get to.
Which is a nice idea, but still,
I know.
You see that Ford's ending the Mustang Shelby GT350 and 350R?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, I know. It's kind of a strange. I mean, I say that it's sad while completely understanding I'll never own one, in that sort of abstract way that people like to talk about sort of the cars that they would like to own. Even though realistically, I mean, if I were to sort of switch over, I don't know that I would necessarily go for a Shelby. Like if I had that kind of money to just sort of blow it on some sort of new powerful thing. But
we were in a new powerful thing that also may be ending.
Yes.
I was supposed to call somebody this morning. Someone who worked third shift who had another. We have a bunch of 2020 cars coming, like modern cars, which is unusual for us getting new stuff. Maybe, I don't know, maybe when we finally got a C8, other people with new cars started giving them to us.
Maybe.
But there's another one that's different than the one I told you about at lunch today. It's a 2020 car, and I just have to get back to the guy. He said he'd come here. I don't think he's too far away.
Well, that's good.
I haven't even seen any of my old friends recently. Gosh, what have I done other than just edit RCR for the past month? Because I look when I did my monthly books, my monthly, like, not my tax, it just logged every single receipt and wrote it out. I realized I had no category 30 traveling expenses, none.
Huh.
It means I didn't go anywhere. I didn't log a single mile. All we've done is film locally, and I haven't gone visited. And I look back at my calendar for September, it's like, holy crap, I did not leave this town all month.
Yeah.
I mean, we went to a fly-in out in Grimes with Greg International, and I met some guy out there, and, you know, got airsick on the way back in Greg's plane, but that was it.
Well, I mean, we're all stuck in this sort of weird holding pattern where nothing is really going on because realistically, what can go on? I mean, there aren't really car shows happening. There aren't really movie theaters. I mean, I guess you could go to the movies, but I don't want to, that's not worth it to me. And, you know, obviously you're doing the Sober October thing. So it's not like you're going to be going to bars. And even if you could, who's to say you would anyway? That anyone
we
would.
got to go to the Brick House. That means I'm ordering coffee.
Yeah. It's just, I don't know. Everything.
No Pizza Boy beer for me.
Yeah. I mean, part of it is just, the thing that I do is just being around family for the most part. Obviously, you know, taking the proper precautions. But if I couldn't be around or anywhere near my family at all, like, I would probably sink into a state from which I would not recover. So, yeah. But, you know, it's whatever it is will pass. Like, I'm not afraid of a permanence to any of these situations, you know? So a lot of it is just, you know, waiting. It's playing the waiting game, but also trying to do your part to not fall apart. And so weirdly enough, like, my very specific method of escape, and I suppose we're different in that way, in that work is sort of my escape from having to think about things. So yesterday, you know, I didn't have anything to do. So what I did was I transcribed some old RCR diaries to put them in a manuscript, and hopefully, like, fill that out to book length. And maybe if someone wants to publish it, they can. But and maybe, like, we go back if we have free time or we're bored or whatever, and just, like, re-edit some of those diaries so that they're in a more publishable form and not so stream of conscious. But a lot of it is just that's almost my video games now, of putting on an RCR story and or an RCR diary, excuse me, and putting it on 0.5 playback speed and just listening to "Going to Ames, Iowa this week." Yeah. And it was,
didn't know you listened to it like that.
Yeah. Yeah. No, but because I gotta, like, I'm doing like stenography basically and trying to get it all out in one time. And so it's very nice to kind of just have that, you know, as something to do, because it makes me appreciate sort of the evolution of the series over time in the way that we write. There were some lines that I really liked that I didn't realize were like that. It's almost like they hit me again, you know, of like, the tragedy of Romeo and Juliet isn't that they died, it's that they were too young to realize that their love wasn't worth dying over. Yeah. Which I'm like, damn. And again, that's kind of like circle jerkery that is, whatever. But I don't know. That's something that I've been up to, and mostly just I've been doing a lot of reading. Like I just finished Hunter S. Thompson's Fear and Loathing on the Campaign Trail 72. Very interesting book, very well written. I was kind of disappointed at the end or not the end, but in sort of the last third of the book, where it becomes a series of manuscript transcriptions, because he sort of got so bogged down that eventually he basically had a nervous breakdown, and that was the only way they could finish the book. And I don't mind that it was in a transcript. It's just that, like, Hunter S. Thompson, for the best part of his stuff, it needs to be written. It's almost like I don't speak as eloquently as I write. And like I couldn't, because my brain starts, like my mouth starts moving before my brain forms things. And it's always been that way for me. And so with that, there are a lot of, and the need to have it verbatim for the sake of journalistic integrity means that it doesn't really read as nicely as it would if it were written. So I don't know. It was still a good book, and I'd still recommend it if you're into sort of gonzo journalism, or even if, you're just into sort of, I don't know, political sciences or anything like that. But yeah, I feel like there were other things that happened this week, and I can't think of any of them.
My dick doesn't look as good as it used to be. I usually come before I get hard. I do it at 1 p.m. It's at the peak of my morning coffees. And then I crash at the same time after I come. And then I feel really, really sad. There's this lull in the middle of the day where I watch videos with junk in my pants. I sit at the computer with cum in my gym shorts. It's kind of cooling off. And then I have to go up and put the balls in the sink and wash everything with bargain hands. So little bit of talcum powder, back in the game. I'm back on the highway again. I get to the gym, still a bit sticky. No one has to know because my shorts are black.
That's something else you can do in your free time. Write a new, make a new album. Songs I wrote while I jizzed or something.
No, it's just Weather Channel music. I used to crank it in my bedroom. Back in the 90s to B104 out of the Lehigh Valley, because that's what came in really clear. And I just didn't want to if I listened to T102, it'd be too personal for me, but B104 was far enough away. I had no associations with that channel aside from knowing who Ken Matthews was. I think it's Ken Matthews. DJ for B104 in the 90s.
I don't know.
And so that's what would just play in the background. And T102 was just like a general rock station from Pottsville, same as Y102, 102.5 out of Reading. But B104 was, I don't know what you want to call it. It wasn't a hip hop station, and it wasn't an R&B station, but it played a lot of R&B, but like sanitized ones, like "Don't Go Chasing Waterfalls. Please stick to the." Is that R&B, or is that soul, or is that just plain old pop? I don't know.
It's that's a good question. I think it's R&B technically, or like pop R&B, because
there you go. That's what B104 was.
Yeah, it's kind of straddles the line between pop and R&B, and I guess there's rap in there too, but it's kind of just a bridge in the song. So yeah, you ever think about video games, like newer ones, of just like the time sync of that, and then we can end up with like matching guts. No, not really, but it's something where as something to do, I mean, because As opposed to
my
like,
brother got me Skyrim. Never played it before. I played through the main quest now. I'm at level like 52, so I kill everything with 1 or 2 sword strikes.
yeah,
So the game's kind of boring now. Now I'm just walking around and like, wow, I completed this game with discovering about half of what there is in this map.
yeah,
So now I'm just walking around. Oh, there's Solstheim. There's this whole other island. All the quests are like trivial now.
yeah.
And then that, I'm gonna go. I don't even bother like looking in chests anymore. There's nothing I need. I have one sword that catches people on fire. I have another sword that takes health. I have another sword that charges the other 2 swords that just trap souls.
Yeah.
And then I'm wearing Dawn Guard armor on legendary.
Yeah.
There's occasionally I have to fight somebody and need to use a shout. You know, it's slow time because that thing's maxed out, so everything goes all max pain.
Yeah, that's like a game breaker.
Yeah,
of just
the slow time one.
Yeah,
because there's some shouts that don't work on bosses and stuff. They resist it, but no one resists slow time. So,
I mean, did you ever see or get any of the mods like the one that turns all the dragons into Macho Man Randy Savage?
I saw that, and now I didn't even touch any of the mods. I mean, it's like Game of the Year edition or whatever that my brother got me for Skyrim, but and then there's other ones where you can reskin everything, and then there's some other mod project that's supposed to open up Hammerfell and like all the other provinces in one gigantic thing. Who knows? And now Microsoft bought them, so maybe the next one won't be as buggy, and it'll have Microsoft money behind it, and it
Maybe.
won't feel like a Bethesda game. So it ain't Skyrim without the nude mod.
I mean, that seems like an almost counterintuitive mod in the sense that you're already sort of in this world that is backwards and draconian in its own regard. Well, I mean, I guess it kind of would be in league or on brand with it, but even then, it's kind of. I remember when the nudie mods for Tomb Raider came out, that you had to use like whatever the thing was. It wasn't a Game Genie. It was a Game Shark, I think. You had to use for PlayStation 1 in order to get that. But there was always, the rumors that it was a code that existed on disc that I'm just like, I don't really need to see like polygonal boobs that badly.
Right.
It's
Don't worry, VR chat will kick up soon enough. Somebody give me something to talk about. Zach Heilman says, which hype man is best hype man? Which blank is West blank? Don't know what it is, but thank you for your donation. Dan Evans. 5 British pounds for something other than beer. Maybe a nice lemonade. Yeah. Lemonade has sugar in it, though. That's another thing. Like one of the RCR volunteers like just filled my beer with fridge because he works at a brewery and just there's tons of beer in the fridge. So that's what I've been drinking, but I've been drinking like 2 beers a day and I feel it in my stomach. Like I weighed myself recently. I'm 175 pounds. When I usually walk around, like if I don't have a meal in me, I'm like 168. So that's got to go back to the gym. And looking back, like when I've been going to the gym, I've just been kind of putzing around.
Yeah.
Like I'm on the elliptical machine for 40 minutes, but I'm not really sweating when I'm done. And I'm like, I haven't really cranked this thing up this much. I've just been like listening to podcasts or music and I'm just like put into motion. So now I have to try again, which is what I'll be doing after this. I'm mentally getting myself through it.
Yeah. Trying is just, I don't know. It's so much work.
Trying is the only way is you have to like Jocko Willink detach yourself from it. I have to mow my lawn too after this as well. It's one of those days where I just want to sit face down on a couch and just go, Murray, Mac and Shack and I skipped a bunch. Rec. Hello, Rec. Mr. Regular for presidential debate host. Ask the hard-hitting questions. Brown or hot brown? Thank you very much. I do not want to discuss current events. But thank you for your question. I certainly appreciate it. Murray yeah. Thank you for the
Thank you so much.
for the donation. Oh, that was the Hoovies Garage RCR edition. Crazy Ivan 2 times. Why sober October? You doing okay? Sounds like a cold. No, I don't have a cold. I'm just sad because I'm not in an altered state right now.
Yeah.
I wonder if this is how Hunter S. Thompson felt when he wasn't like, it's not that he had to be altered, but like the knowledge that you can do it anytime you want.
Yeah.
And this is especially harder now because I got a fridge full of beer and I can't touch it for the next month.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's understanding, or I mean, it takes a bit for your body to adjust to not having those stimulants around.
Yeah.
And so if you are used to sort of getting adjusted or self-adjusting, then, that will hit you pretty hard. And also there's like the change of the seasons that affects some people in different ways. So, I mean, the best thing that you can do is kind of resist shutting down. And I don't know, staying active, whether it's the gym or, I don't know, trying to think of things that are open, but yeah, whatever.
Everybody's wondering, the thing that put about the CBD, it's not a sponsor. But, I got some on my lips. That's no good. Kind of numbing.
Very nice.
Cinnamon flavored.
Mine is always like orange or citrusy, and I keep trying to find ones that aren't that. And I'm just kind of, which, I mean, I don't really mind the taste. It's just that like there's something wrong about it, kind of like the way that like a protein bar that tries to taste like chocolate.
Yeah. Oh, like Quest bars. Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, when the Quest bars have sugar in it, what's the one I'm thinking of? Met Rex.
Oh, those, yeah.
Terrible.
Those are kind of like, I don't know. It's this weird clay type substance of it's clay adjacent.
It's like a Three Musketeers without joy. Rex with the generous donation. RCR hiatus, just come back in a couple of months. Also get like 20 Arizona iced teas. Ew, corn syrup. Arizona iced tea. The iced tea that makes you suicidal by the end of it.
The price is on the can.
What?
Oh, the price
is on the can. Amazing. I'm coming out, so you better get this party started. Most of the beer in my fridge is Oktoberfest and pumpkin ale. I drink it and I feel myself get dumber and fatter. That's definitely some crowd pleasers. I mean, I was so wanting to have some good drinks that the last time we rode, I just ordered a gin martini at like 3 p.m. Yeah.
I mean, the waitress didn't even bat an eye, even though you kind of like were, I know it's 3 p.m. It's like, she's like, no, that's, because
have what you want.
Yeah. I mean, realistically, I don't think their waiters or waitresses or servers in general are there to judge.
No.
It's kind of like when you're at the checkout line and you have condoms that aren't Magnum or or that type of thing, or if it's a guy who's picking up pads for his girlfriend or something, like the guy's always weird about it. Oh no, they're gonna think
I'm using them for myself.
Yeah, it's like the person scanning your stuff could not possibly care at all about what you're getting, because
you are tears in a rainstorm. You are a drop of water in their ocean of people they're going to see today.
Yeah, they're not going to remember anything about you, like, at all. Once you're gone, you're gone.
Those are the people who are embarrassed buying tampons are the same people who get really, really offended if they have to absorb a gay insult. They're fine with dishing them out.
Yeah.
Bob says, I have to know what time it is. The time is 3:09 p.m. or 13, 14, 1,509 seconds, or however the military time goes. I wonder if the CBD is making me more sleepy, or I'm just coming down off the coffee that much.
I mean, yeah, normally we don't drink that much coffee.
No.
Like this is my second iced coffee, and I have every expectation that I'm just going to get an enormous panic attack at some point between now and the drive home.
Oh, boy.
But I need it because I barely slept last night because I like basically got stuck reading about like semiotics and literary theory,
Mhm.
lost track of time. Suddenly it was 4 a.m.
Oh,
and
boy.
yeah, I just like, I'm terrible at keeping track of my own time, that even when I'm getting sleepy, my mind is like, oh, well, it's still early. Like, it's not really, but when I'm making that assertion, it's like 2 or something. And, it's,
The nighttime is so beautiful, though.
it really is. And it's
amazing. I wish the night would just stop and then I could wake up. Like, it would just continue, or I'm like in a state where I can consistently wake up at 8 o'clock in the morning. Tomorrow I gotta wake up because I gotta be in Carlisle. I'm going to the auctions there tomorrow. Never, I've been doing RCR for 6 years. I've never been to a car auction before. You've never been to a car auction? No, I've never been to Mannheim. I've never been to any of them. So we're going to fall. I'm going to fall Carlisle. I'm not going to make a video. I mean, I'll take my dick around camera, but it's mostly just notes. It's me wanting to write an article again and actually do something that's not me in front of a computer. People are going to have to be okay with a week coming up where there's no video, which usually means I have a week to just do something that isn't car. Can I keep doing RCR all the way through October? I kind of better, because if I start going places like in November, then I'm going to need substance. I'm going to be, and I have people coming over in November anyway. So,
I mean, if I have to, like, I'll whip up an essay about something. Like, I'll talk about something. Like the sort of like the left lane bandit rant.
Okay.
I mean, it won't be as long and it won't get that many views because it's me, but it's something where it'll be content, content.
Let's have a thing about current events, because that's really what we need more of.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't wait for like the next batch of high school Ben Shapiros to come up, and they're gonna use their magical ability to talk over and down at people at the same time. Yeah. They're all taking debate classes now, and they can't wait to own people.
Yeah.
They don't own anything. They don't own them and their bank card, their joint account with their parents.
They don't even.
They're going to tell me how the world works.
Yeah, it's like, you didn't even buy those underwear you're shitting in. It's like,
your mom bought your underwear.
Is that what's his face from King of the Hill?
Your wife left you.
He's so great. Yeah, no, it's like, a bunch of debate team.
You can't stop eating candy.
It's the debate team Cobra Kai. Who's just sort of shown up and talking over and down.
Yeah.
Oh, geez.
James F. Do you have a review for the second generation NSX coming? No one won't offer those to us.
Yeah, no.
Reviews seem mixed on it, and I would consider the final word on the second generation. Hey, remember the first one? You liked that, didn't you? New NSX. My dad was president, Do you know who my dad is of cars?
Yeah. All these things are so incredibly specific.
Yeah.
I finally looked at it's because it's been a very long time, and I looked at Joe Rogan's new studio, and it looks like the inside of an oven.
Yeah.
Or the inside of a toaster.
It looks like the tunnel where they roast the beans on the Chocolate World ride at Hershey Park.
Yes, that's so man, that is frighteningly accurate.
Yeah.
Because I actually have GoPro footage of going through Chocolate World that I took for my own purposes. It wasn't to use for anything.
Yeah.
I was just like, I had the GoPro on me. Screw it. I'm on Chocolate World with this was like 3 years ago. Don't worry. As I'm going through it, I'm like, wow, this is a really cool effect. I wish I could use this footage for something. Especially that last part where they're like, it's a tour of America. It's just a video screen of all these cities.
Yeah.
You're going to America.
Eat your corn syrup chocolate. Never get off your fat
Sugar
ass.
Humans.
You gotta buy the better folding chairs.
Yeah, it's a thing, but yeah, I don't know. It's one of those things where I just
I fuck with Mr. Goodbar all day long.
That was my favorite bar growing up.
Yeah,
Mr. Goodbar. Because
Crackle was good too.
Well, I mean, it was good. I just mean like it was no
the
Mr.
same
Goodbar
chocolate in all of those. The Hershey miniatures, with the exception of Special Dark.
Yeah, but I just want a more substantial crunch.
Yeah,
and Crackle doesn't get it done.
No. Yeah, I think when I was a kid, I liked Crackle more, and then I switched to Mr. Goodbar. And then I went to middle school. And then what was my jam in middle school? At that time, and then you could get Tasty Cakes, like in school. There was no, like in middle school or in elementary school, the only time you could get chocolates, like those, like chocolate in school, was during Halloween, Easter, sometimes Christmas.
Yeah.
Like they bring out the Christmas M&Ms, the red and green ones, which in my mind tasted different. They probably did. But yeah, okay. So 3 times out of the year, there was something other than a school lunch in school.
Yeah.
But then in middle school, like you could just buy, like you're entrusted with money, you could buy the like Tasty Cakes in school every day
and literally never have lunch.
Yeah. I think when I was in middle school, they made you buy a lunch. Like if you wanted snacks, you had to buy the lunch. And I think lunch was like $1.50 or something like that. Now this is in 1996, 543. So yeah. Inflation and subsidies and all of that.
Yeah.
So, and then there were some girls I remember who would buy the lunch and not eat it. That was a thing, just so they could have like a bag of chips and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And that was like some weird power move that we all got lectured about. Like in the like everybody forms a hierarchy and has their different ways of displaying worth. Like there were the people who would buy the lunch and not eat it. There were the people who would, their parents would give them $2 for lunch, and the lunch was $1.50, and they'd throw the 2 quarters away. Like that was a thing for like some people to say, I don't need this, and they'd throw 50 cents in the trash, and then we all got yelled at, so nothing happened. Because that's the whole thing about classroom management. If you punish the whole class, the problem, you didn't solve the problem.
No,
it's like some people, some undisclosed. No, you call the kid out in front of everybody.
Yeah,
you make people look at them.
Yeah,
and that stops it.
Well, I think part of it is the issue with being a representative of your teacher, because when I was in middle school, this was sort of our chance, like when we go to class and when we go to lunch rather, and okay, here comes Miss Caputo's class. Like that's my class. We're sitting at lunch. And so, we're kind of getting released, and okay, Miss Caputo's class, you're free to go, blah, 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 in an orderly fashion. But usually what became standard was the after lunch lecture, because normally something bad would happen. Someone would act up. And so we'd all sit around. And this was unironically my favorite part of every school day. And not that it happened every day, but that it happened often enough that I would actively look forward to it, because I was such a little goody two shoes bullshitter that I would sit down there and listen as, with bated breath while the teacher lectured everyone about sitting down. And you just, from the breath and the silence that the teacher will allow to hang in the air, you just know that, something is coming. Somebody slaps somebody, pantsed somebody. I don't know, but it's just, what happened today was unacceptable. You are representing your school. You're representing your class. You're representing me as a teacher. I cannot stand for it. I will not stand for it. And you shouldn't either. That's the thing of trying to put the responsibility back on you of you shouldn't put up with this either. If you see something, you should stop it.
When you were saying that, I just went back into my emotions and pulled out guess it's time to get yelled at.
Yeah.
And I remember like the beats that you had. Yeah, it's exactly like a teacher scolding everybody, like, here we go again. Mm-hmm. It's like, and I wanted to say to them, hey, Mr. Lafco, he's dead now, thank God. Yeah. I mean, he just hated being a teacher. And if it wasn't for you, heads are going to roll today, Oh, really? Really, Mr. Bullet? No, really, I'll call you out. Really, Mr. Bulletza. Heads are going to roll, huh? You're going to chop our heads off. You're going to murder children. That's what's going to happen. And what? Our parents are going to cry? Man, you are so fortunate. It's 1991 and no one has cell phone cameras.
Yeah.
I'd love to find some of these old teachers. You are so lucky you were a teacher in the 90s. That you retired in the year 2000, you would be disgraced. Your entire family name, your children would be going to the courthouse to fill out forms to change their last name because you were the teacher who picked up a kid by his throat and left red marks on the side of his neck with your gigantic gangly gardener fingers.
It's like,
you are so lucky no one filmed you.
Did he really do that?
That was Mr. Bulletza had an anger problem. There were rumors, we heard rumors about him when we were in the 4th grade, and he was a 5th grade teacher, that he one time punched the blackboard and put a crack in it. And I remember that was the first thing he told us, trying to just get ahead of these rumors on the first day of school in the 5th grade. He's like, no, there was already a crack in it and I just hit it. And then people thought the crack people were saying I punched a hole in it. He would just have he would waste the class time. He would waste our time ranting about how someone forgot their homework. And we're so behind because you forgot your homework. And I'm like, you just spent 20 minutes doing this. And of course, it's a few brave kids would talk back to him and his face would get red and he would shout and you'd hear him yelling. And all the other teachers would just sort of put their heads down around this guy.
Yeah.
He was a monster. And I'd love to just kind of want to know what was going on. Was it, I'm going to guess, divorce? Did one of your kids turn gay? What happened?
Yeah. It's like
Mr. Bulletza.
I mean, and I know that we're taught in a very sort of respectful kind of way that, you never know what a person is going through. And that's true. But some things are unacceptable.
Yeah.
And you're not supposed to treat other people that way, regardless of what you're going through. And do you know, okay, if he were to be like disgraced and shuffled off, that would speak volumes, because do you know how fucking bad of a teacher and person you have to be like kicked out of teaching despite without banging somebody you're not supposed to?
Yeah.
Like, that's kind of very telling, of just there's violence and it's coming from a teacher.
Yeah.
It's just,
I get it, man. You made a bad career choice. You don't like your profession, but the way education is structured in the United States, you're now committed. You're part of the mob now. You can't get out. You are unemployable outside of this profession.
Yeah.
I know it. Like, the most lucrative thing I could do if RCR goes away is become a teacher.
Yeah.
Like, maybe I could write for something, but odds are if I stay in Pennsylvania, I just have to get a Joe job.
Yeah.
Best case scenario, Bruce Henn hires me.
Yeah.
I'm not a good, I can sweep up, I can hand them things, I can turn wrenches, I can help people do stuff. That's probably it. I mean, as far as writing it, like if I'm outside of the entertainment industry.
Yeah.
Maybe Hardegee would hire me to do something. Maybe I could go work for Farrah at his garage out in LA. I always have my doomsday scenario with RCR. Like it stops. Say the YouTube partner program just goes away. Well, I got about 3 years worth of saving, which is better than most people, to figure something out before, I don't know, I become homeless or something like that.
Yeah.
And, I'm living on the AT.
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen people do that. I guess it's completely doable.
I don't know because I don't really know what I can do, what I'm capable of. But I mean, I don't know. I sort of fell into this fortunately enough. And granted, being fortunate enough to fall into something, that's not really something you can rely on. But again, it's something where I don't know. I have to take it one day at a time, because if I think too far ahead, and and I know you're supposed to have contingencies for everything, but that's not the way that my brain works. My brain needs to, because I feel like I'm functionally a useless person in most things that aren't this. So I gotta figure. I don't know.
I'd go to work and just get some job, and I'm like, man, it's gonna be tough, but this is how the rest of people work. And like, there are people out there working jobs supporting us. So it would be like, well, you had a good run, kid.
Yeah.
Now it's over. But it's owned by Google, and Google is this gigantic thing. Do you think they're stopping the partner program? Nope. It's going to keep going. And, the free market will prevail. Some other company will come up, and, dick jokes will never not be funny.
Yeah.
So,
do you mind if I pull the shades?
Yeah,
there's glare from my car window that's coming right off, like right next to the Kunkelman Chevrolet sticker. And it's like getting me right in the eye. It's almost like Kunkelman Chevrolet is blinding me with savings. Lose your virginity at Kunkelman Chevrolet.
Yeah, we got to do another one of those.
Yeah.
Lose your virginity at Kunkelman Chevrolet. There's an app for that.
We hired a new guy. He used to be a fluffer on a very
check us out on the web at www.pornhub.com.
Yeah. My to the person in the comments asking for Kunkelman merch, that's all at Zazzle.com. Just look up regular cars. So yeah, it's very much we have bumper stickers, floor mats, license plate frames, hats. I don't know, other things. But yeah, it's like we also have like new merch that's just like old RCR quotes, like $12,000 engine rebuild, son. Bumper stickers. So that's nice and fun.
Come to Kunkelman Chevrolet. We know where you live. We know your door code. Like as the videos go on, it has to get more specific. Like, We've memorized your sleeping schedule.
You need to buy milk. You're running low on muffins and bread. But yeah, it's
Kunkelman Chevrolet, your mother called. Or that should be like a Rinaldi. As a Rinaldi.
Oh yeah, and there's Rinaldi and Klein merch there
your
too.
Mother called.
Yeah, it's like Rinaldi
says it's important.
Yeah. Hey, yo, and it's just 2 minutes of just going, hey, or just going Rinaldi and Klein, over and over again of just Rinaldi and Klein, because it's just like hats and shirts at this point. But I think like maybe one mug, but still,
Here's a Roman question.
Rock and roll.
Village Idiot. Roman. Is Michelle Moten still in the RCR shortlist?
Yes.
I want to hear more about women and minorities in the art of history and racing.
Yeah. It's on the short list. I mean, there are so many things on the short list, and I'm like slowly crossing off one by one with each new video that comes out. And some that I don't intend, like the Corvette thing was never intended to be like a 3-part thing. It was all just going to be one video. And then I realized if I made it all one video, it was just going to be one big, like 3-hour mess. Which, I mean, I'm sure like some people would have watched, but I don't know. And that would have been very taxing to make for me. Like I needed a little bit of breather and breathing room between those videos. So I figured it would make more sense to make it a trilogy. So basically, Michelle Moten would be a great subject. There are so many like individuals that I would love to do stories about, like Randy Lanier. But I don't know. I'm trying to do the things that people want me to do stories about. Oh, Mouton. It's Michelle Mouton. Or Mouton. Mouton or Mouton. Well, regardless, yeah, she's a fascinating figure and someone who's very much on the short list still and will always be there, but she'll probably be one of the ones that I do in between some of the longer form ones. The one that I'm working on now is one that like people ask me about a lot. And it is a story that like I want to do, but it's not something that I would have prioritized if I didn't think if people weren't asking me to do it. And so I'm like, I'm going to do it, but it also requires me to sort of go back pretty far to like the founding of like certain things. And, I have to decide how granular I want to get about it, like how far into the weeds I want to go before getting to really, because what I like about RCR stories is that it has the structure of not in quality, but of a classic Simpsons episode of how the first 5 minutes ultimately have almost nothing to do with the rest of the episode, but then it comes right back around at the end.
Yeah.
So that the idea with it being that you start out with this story about, if it's the story of, I don't know, the Isle of Man TT, it starts out with the founding of like an automobile enthusiast club. And what does that have to do with anything? And so you progress from there. And then suddenly by the end of the story, when you're telling a story of all the Dunlops, that you're wondering, or you sort of get this feeling of having come a long way, of the story being more substantial because, again, it's come from all this sort of not primordial, it's pretentious, but, it's just this thing started here, ended here, it's fun. So yeah, that's my answer to that question.
Let me love you tonight. I'm gonna mash my erection between your butt cheeks and not hold. Well, I'll hold you, but I won't hold in my farts, and this is the life we'll lead. You can feel me getting hard and soft, and then hard and soft. Not in your butt, but just above it. Hard and soft love.
It should be in the Christmas video of "Let me sing you a Christmas carol." Like instead of "Let me sing you my favorite carol."
Let me put my dick in your butt cheeks. I'll hold you, but not my farts. You can hear me getting hard and soft near your asshole.
Merry Christmas. Yeah. That should be the song that we do. Foster.
I need like those jingle bells that you have in every elementary school percussion kit.
Yeah.
Jingle, and I'll be just doing it amelodically.
Truly a Christmas carol for all
seasons. It would be funnier if I just put it to jingle bells, like let me put. But no, is jingle? Is that
public domain?
Yeah, Jingle Bells public domain.
I know a lot of Christmas songs are. I wanted to find out if Jolly Old Saint Nicholas was, and completely forgot. Christmas songs public domain.
Aaron Crutchfield says you need something to do. Head to the North Woods in Maine. Find the Brown River and film it and make a joke. Thank you for reminding me that I like to say the word brown. Everybody likes RCR. Everybody like brown. Thank you, Aaron Crutchfield, for the high knowledge. Someday I'll get to Maine. Dear friends to dusk, thank you for the generous donation. I'm trying to write the script for a video like an RCR diary, but losing motivation to even research. What do y'all do when you're struggling to write or focus on a topic? For through it, I want to make it.
I mean, yeah, pretty much. Sorry.
Okay, so you want to write, but you don't have the motivation. I got nothing for you, man. If you can't move the pencil, what good are you? That sounds like an old man thing. Is like, what good are you?
Yeah.
What are you good for? Look, yes, you have to force it. Guess what? You have a minute. Let's see what you can get up to in a minute.
Yeah.
Like, if you're really listening to me, you'd open, like, if you got a pen and paper in front of you, like if you're at work, I understand you can't do it.
Yeah.
Look, if I'm gonna be a teacher, I have to be able to practice what I preach. So, where's something to write on? Dead air, 'cause it's a live stream. Dead air, my piss stream. Dead air, I need a pencil, not a pen. Pens are for people who think they're better than you. Look at me, I don't need to erase every word. Okay. So, writing exercise time. Doesn't have to be good. It just has to keep going. There's no wrong way to run. Put one foot in front of the other, then you'll be farther away than when you started. That's how you run. So stopwatch. It's really timer. Timer is 1 minute. Like, let's see what you get up to in 1 minute. Do you want to do this, or should I? Or do you just want to like entertain people? It'd be pretty boring for people who are listening to this while driving. And then there's just 1 minute of silence and me writing stuff down.
Well, I mean, you can write stuff down, and I'll give my answer to the question.
Okay. All right. So this is 1 minute. This is a writing exercise. It's called "You Can't Lift This." You have to keep writing. It can't stop for 1 minute. So, and I don't know what I'm going to write about. So here we go.
And so, yes, the answer has been and always will be that you have to write through it, regardless of whatever the sort of writer's block that you have. You have to focus first on getting it done and worry about it being good later. So just keep writing until you have enough, and then go back and worry about making it good on a subsequent draft. but that's the way you force through writer's block, because essentially you're forcing your brain to work around the issues that you're having. And I don't know, like you almost have to treat writing like a 9 to 5, in that I'm going to sit down. This is how long I'm going to write for. I have to do it in this amount of time, which almost sounds like you're imposing anxiety upon yourself, but it's really not like that. If you're, you know, sure enough, well, it's not even about being sure enough. As long as you have the capability to write, as long as your hand can move a pen or pencil or type keys or even speak into a voice recorder, you have the ability to write and to write well. And the way you get better at it is, reading good writing, listening to good writing, and writing on your own. You just read newspapers, read comic books, read anything, read posts on Reddit. As long as you're reading, and you can do it. There's nothing that you can't do if you try to, in writing, I mean, rather, obviously you can't fly if you jump off the roof of a building, but it's.
Did I set this for 1 minute?
It appears to be an hour.
Oh,
but I mean, you're still at 15 seconds in the first minute. So, yeah, as long as you commit to seeing it through within a given time frame, then you'll see better results. And if you commit to reading more, sort of absorbing things more, allow yourself to absorb things, whether it's people watching, whether it's sensory experiences. If you think of a good turn of phrase, write it down.
Over a minute, because we're at 58:45.
Oh yeah.
So I went longer than
minute 15, give or take, but still, that's a healthy chunk of time to get a
1 hour
thought.
and 1 minute. I forgot to go 1 minute.
Yeah.
All right. So it's been a minute. So I only wrote that much, but I wrote legibly and in like complete sentences. Placemats. Because I had to start somewhere. What's directly in front of me? There's some placemats here. Placemats. My parents had this unusual obsession with protecting placemats for future events. They had plastic placemats for picnics, cheap Ollie's bargain outlet placemats for good daily use, and good Boskov placemats for like good times. Why do you want me to do 1 minute, or you're just writing down?
Oh, no, I'm going to do 1 minute.
Okay.
Because I want to try it too.
All right. 1 minute starting now.
All right.
Blake Carlson asks, thoughts on a Focus ST as a first car for my teen? No, that's a terrible first car. What does your teen have to be faster than the other ones? What's a teenager going to do with 250 horsepower? Are they going to appreciate a turbocharger? It's all downhill from there. You got them a Focus ST, and their next car is going to be like a Geo Prism after this one breaks, unless you're going to buy another one. Believe me, the kid just wants a car. And if he starts saying he needs a Focus ST, you got a spoiled kid right there. What does he need a sports sedan for? He needs to learn how to drive. Here's your Corolla, and Corolla love me, or something like that. I haven't listened to that guy in a long time. Thoughts of Focus ST. No, maybe a regular Focus. All right, that's a minute.
Yeah. This is completely incomprehensible garbage, but whatever. When I was a kid, I used to think gosh was the opposite of God, because people who didn't want to blaspheme would use gosh. But now I think God is the opposite of me. I was told I was made blah. I was going to say I was told I was made in his image, but now I think, it's some, crawling in my skin.
Yeah.
Like it's bad, of course, but the whole point is that you allow yourself to be bad.
Yeah.
As bad as you need to be, or as awful as the writing can get, you just muscle through it anyway, and then you worry about it being good later. But you just get whatever down, and it's fine.
I think teaching writing is easier than being a personal trainer. Like, to say, oh, a personal trainer just counts. But like teaching writing, half of it is just you have the students write in class. That's like 20 minutes gone right there.
Yeah.
It's easy to teach writing. Half of the teaching mind is teaching thinking. So good question, Blake Carlson, and good question, Defense to Dusk. So that you just saw what we just did. You have a minute and you have to keep writing. I don't know what to write about. Then write about how you don't know what to write about and what you're feeling right now.
Yeah.
Now, great. You got an idea. You got something on paper. Refresh to freedom.
Yes.
An hour went by.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Looking it down and bomb time. Everybody's bomb is uglier than they think it is. Everybody thinks the bum smells good, but it isn't made to smell good. Stop making doughy buns.
Did you hear that in Ireland, there's too much sugar in Subway's bread for it to be legally classified there as bread?
Good. Scott. Thank you for your donation. Scott, would you be interested in reviewing a 100,000-mile Volkswagen Mark 6 GTI Driver's Edition? I don't know if we did a 6th gen or not. I don't know if I'm interested or not, but you know the drill. I'm going to put this as a voice memo or something like that so I can just play it for the rest of this episode. Where's my voice memo? Where's my voice memo? It's the Falling Asleep podcast and waking up with the stiffy. It's a voice memo. Welcome to voice. I got a whole bunch of voice memos in this one. You know the drill. Year, make, model, city, state in the title of the email. In the body of the email, put your name, a phone number where I can contact you. Please be sure to spell out your state in its entirety. I need the full word of it to be able to search for it in my inbox. That is regularcars@gmail.com. Year, make, model, city, state in the title of the email. Please spell out the entire name of the state. Thank you very much, and thank you for submitting your car to Regular Car Reviews.
Excellent.
You know the drill. Year, make, model, city, state, and the title of the email in the body of the email. Can I rename this? Once I got okay. How to submit a car. All right, so that's what we're gonna do now. There we go. That's what I'm going to play when I get those questions. But thank you for donating to ask them. I appreciate it. Thank you, Scott. Merci, merci, or mercy, mercy. Thank you for your donation. What makes the 1998 Civic hatchback so good? Is there a review coming? Yeah, they're really built well. They like to rev. It's one of the best shifters you can feel. And they got that 90s nostalgia going for them. Are they better than Hyundais? Yes. Are they better than Toyotas? Yes. They're really the only ones, aside from Volkswagen, who made a fun hatch in the 90s. I mean, let's saw the US. We never got the Lancia. So what are you going to do? Is there a review coming? Not now, but probably at some point. Folly Industries, thank you for your donation. Good luck with not drinking. I was too busy to drink one Christmas and lost 10 pounds that way. Yep. I know I'm going to see results next week just from like not having those extra carbohydrates that my body is just storing around my waist. Like right now, the only time I have a flat stomach is when I come back from the gym a little bit dehydrated, sweat and you sweat out of pounds. Otherwise, I wake up in the morning and I have a gut. So that's another reason for Sober October.
Yeah.
No. JB says, what review that you have done would you like to be able to revisit? Most of them, we've just said everything we need to say.
Yeah, there's nothing I need to, there's nothing that occurred to me after the review that I kind of think about like, oh man, I wish I would have said that. I'm trying to think, but no, not really. Most of the time, because when we're like sort of together and writing, anything that we miss, we kind of inform the other person that,
Mhm.
hey, either we already said this or, like to kind of edit out redundancies, I suppose. But also, I suppose the things that are missing, you know, hey, mention this or whatever. But
Oh, I thought I renamed that.
But yeah, that's kind of no, I don't really think there's anything that I would want to go back to, like a review that I would want to revisit or a car that I would want to revisit. Um, for the purposes of like a new video, there are plenty of cars like I would like to drive again, but it's not necessarily something that I think about too much. So I don't know.
How do I save this? And why does it still say? What does it say? Grove Street. Was I making some weird San Andreas? Like all of my memos just say either new recording or goal or Grove Street.
Grove Street. Oh shit! Here we go again.
Yeah, it immediately went back to there it says details. Am I done? Am I done? Did it record? Exit the program? Oh, and there it is. Now it says you know the drill. Nice. American man with a donation. Can you do a regular car review? My Nissan Rogue SL Platinum. Well, you know the drill. Year, make, model, city, state, and the title of the email in the body of the email. Put your name, a phone number where I can contact you. Please be sure to spell out your state in its entirety. I need the full word of it to be able to search for it in my inbox. That is regularcars@gmail.com. Year, make, model, city, state, and title of the email. Please spell out the entire name of the state. Thank you very much. And thank you for submitting your car to Regular Car Reviews. I should make that one more succinct in the future, but it gives me a time to rest my voice a little bit. Thank you, American man.
Thank you.
Shats Bassoon says, ahoy from the Lehigh Valley. What are a few popular and infamous cars from the 2000s that you'd like to review that you still haven't yet? The real Subaru Forester XT, the turbo one. Some other 2000 things. We've never done a Prowler, even though that's late 90s. I guess they made that in the 2000s.
Yeah, I suppose.
I think I remember seeing that my senior year, and I graduated in 2000. I haven't done a Prowler. We did the PT Cruiser. We did a second-gen Neon in that we had the SRT4. But we never had the regular one. There's 90s stuff. I mean, the first-gen Neon, that's right now. It's a unicorn. Other 2000s blobs. We got the NB Miata out of the way. We did, I think we did a Civic like a million years ago from there. The 99 Corollas were all the same. There was still a generation going into the 2000s, not the second one. We got the Matrix XRS, and by extension, that's also the same as a Corolla XRS. We did the MR2 in the early 2000s. Yeah. I can't think. There's stuff out there that we haven't touched. We haven't done many Euro cars from the 2000s.
Yeah. I mean,
we got to get one of those horrible Jags from the Ford years. That'd be delightfully. That would be like, I don't care about any of this. It's like anybody who buys one of these things, or like a North Star Cadillac. Those are god awful.
Yeah.
They're all for sale on Craigslist for $1,200, and every single one of them is going to have blown head gaskets. Yeah. It's like right at that time. Anyway, so yeah, that's North Star Cadillac and just shit all over it. Thank you, Shats. Cameron
Aubernon.
Aubernon.
I'm guessing.
Okay. I've gotten it right and I've gotten it wrong, or maybe I've only gotten it wrong. Hello, have you ever had a Mad Max Globberino? It's a Thanksgiving dinner in a burrito.
Those, yeah. It's like the gobbler from Wawa, except it's a burrito instead of a hoagie.
Found out about the PA delicacy I've never heard of it, and I live here. Have you heard about it?
No, I mean, I've heard about it, but I've never seen it or had an occasion to want to get one. I mean, I've done the gobbler before from Wawa, but that's like, that's a hoagie. Well, they make them in bowls now too.
Yeah.
And
it's like if I wanted to fall asleep, I can just get ground turkey and mix it with stuff.
Yeah.
And you can buy ground turkey and just buy a jar of gravy at the grocery store, fry it in a pan, add that to whatever you're eating and fall asleep just as well.
Yeah. But I always find that the gravy is what ruins it. Like everything else, you have the turkey, the mashed potatoes, the stuffing, the cranberry sauce. The cranberry sauce is fine as the sauce. So why you got to add gravy? And it just throws everything off. And now this was years ago. I haven't had a gobbler in like 3 years, but still, it's a matter of principle. Like, who's balancing these things? You got to find the right balance. So yeah.
Cameron just sent me on Twitter. Look at that.
Oh yeah, she sent that. That was a very specific.
I'm tired looking at it.
Ugh. I feel like I gotta take a shit just looking at it.
It feels like grandma's disappointed and we don't know why.
Yeah.
Your mom's upset. The meal.
Yeah. Mom is disappointed because of a conversation we weren't privy to.
Yeah. What are my favorite Pennsylvania foods and beverages? Okay, what do I miss when I go abroad?
Well,
I miss tall cups of coffee.
Yeah.
Should I bite the horse that bit me and just because when we left, like they're always refilling our coffee at this cafe. I'm not complaining. Yeah. But like, will more of it help me or should I just stay? Because if I take any more CBD, I'm probably just going to fall asleep and then not go to the gym, which is working against like Sober October. Like going to the gym and like working out once I'm there isn't a problem. I just go into autopilot mode.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm just going to be listening to a podcast. Lately, it's been Tim Dillon. You probably heard a bit of Tim Dillon in my voice where I was complaining about teachers. Oh man, more coffee sounds good. Just put it in the microwave for just a little bit. PA foods that I can remember. I can name PA foods that I used to like. I used to love Gears iced tea. But you know what? I still love Tasty Cake mini frosted donuts. Fuck me.
Yeah.
Fuck me raw. They are good.
Yeah.
With chocolate milk. Like Joey Diaz. You kidding me?
Yeah, that's the only way to have them actually.
Yeah,
with the chocolate milk.
Yeah,
it's got to be chocolate milk, and the powder makes a hot mess. I don't know. Miller's hot bologna is one of them. That is, I don't know that it's necessarily entirely PA specific, but that is something that I actually cannot have anymore. That I've decided I can't have anymore because it will cause me to die, not die, but in a very weird place. Like I just don't want to spend the rest of my day in the bathroom. That's all. Let's see. I don't know. Like it's not PA specific foods, but like places that make very specific. Like I miss the businesses that make the foods that I like. So, like if I like a certain hoagie made a certain way, I'll miss the deli that makes it when I'm abroad. I'll miss my deli. I'll miss my cafe that makes my things the way that I like them. And it's very nice to have those types of things. But also, in terms of Pennsylvania foods, I don't really think about it that much because it's like, well, the non-specific or the non-general food that I eat is like cultural food, essentially, like Puerto Rican food. So I guess like that's what I end up missing the most when I'm like abroad or out of state or anywhere that isn't home, is that I miss, arroz con gandules. I miss pernil. I miss, freaking rellenos de papa. Like I miss those things, but it's not like I have them all the time anyway. Otherwise, I would be much, much fatter. So, it's got to be something that, makes sense.
The cafe, I saw on the menu that they're also doing Cubanos.
Oh, those sandwiches.
But I don't know if like I had one and like the best meal I've ever had in Florida was one of those. Everything else was Florida. It was just like chain restaurant food and like strip mall Chinese restaurants that everybody says, oh, this is the best Chinese food around here. It's like, this is strip mall Chinese food.
Yeah.
It's just this place has a little more decor than your average one. So that makes it.
Yeah.
But I did have a Cubano and it was very satisfying.
Oh yeah, they're very.
It was one of the cheapest things on the menu too.
Yeah, and I think in terms of like food per dollar ratio, like the amount that you get on a Cuban sandwich, it's just like it's just like they just bring it out and it's just like dumping the plate in front of you because there's so much sandwich there. Yeah. It's almost like a
pastrami. Well,
it's like a Reuben that doesn't take itself so seriously.
Yeah. It was a weird thing though. Like this place was like, oh, it's artisan, like it's authentic. But then like a Cuban sandwich is just like a worker's sandwich, like something you would like make and then take with you. Yeah. That's still going to be good after it cools off.
Yeah. It's tin lunchbox food.
Yeah.
In a good way. In the best way.
Anyway, I mean, it's like making artisan burritos. It's like, it's the same thing.
Yeah. I mean, doesn't matter if you,
But then I don't get upset about burgers. Like an artisan burger itself was just like a miner's food. It's like beef and bread together.
The difference with burgers is that a lot of them are made to order. Whereas a pastrami sandwich, you can't say you want it medium.
Okay.
So for an artisan burger, it kind of makes more sense because now the onus is on the chef to like get it right. In a way that like if you're making an artisan burrito, I would imagine that like say if you're scooping meat or chicken in there, like it's already been cooked.
Yeah.
Like the person assembling the burrito, they just have to assemble it in the correct proportions. But like with a burger, it's like, this is my burger, don't mess this up. Get the seasoning right.
Out of the fridge, like everything's gonna be fresh.
Yeah. Yeah, got to be well seasoned. Got to
that doesn't work with a burrito because it all has to congeal just a little bit.
Yeah,
things have to melt together. It's like getting a burrito, like making it itself, like it's too fresh, and like the bits are falling out of it as you try to eat it.
Yeah. The structural integrity is non-existent.
The tortilla is it tortilla or
tortilla?
Tortilla hasn't got a chance to glue itself together. That's why maybe that's why they come in foil and you have to let it sit for just that little bit.
Yeah, and get the guac because the guac is sort of load bearing.
It is. Good question, Cameron. Jasper, thank you for the donation. Have either of you read Travels with Charlie? It's 288 pages of delight. I'm unfamiliar with that book.
No, I haven't heard of it. Who's it by?
Nick is watching the regular chat, so if you tell me who's it from, I mean, we could consult the oracle. But
Travels for Charlie?
Travels with Charlie.
With Charlie.
Bare Leg Diary.
Oh, by Steinbeck. Nice.
Oh, okay.
Travels with Charlie in Search of America. Nice.
He went for a search of America and couldn't find it anywhere. Bare Leg Diary, $5. Thank you. No question. Timothy Colquitt?
I don't have the first idea.
Hey guys, my 1995 GMC K1500 hit 300,000 miles this past Sunday. Love the show. I look forward to every Monday. Thank you. Love you for helping us live. Nikki Kebab says, what do you guys think will do you guys think cars will look like in the near future, appearance-wise? Do you think there will be a period of everything old is new again? Everything old is always new.
Yeah.
It's rolling. It's mortal machines or whatever that movie
Mortal
was.
Engines?
Mortal engines just consuming old stuff.
Yeah.
Entire civilizations and culturally appropriating other machines.
Yeah.
I forget, in that movie, do they show how London swallows that smaller city car? Oh,
yeah,
okay.
No, it's what's funny.
It's Howl's Moving Castle, but
essentially, yeah.
What meets League of Extraordinary Gentlemen.
I mean, the thing for me is that I think we're in a very I've heard it referred to as like a Xerox era, where it's like a copy of a copy. And it's strange to me that my nephew, almost on the same time frame as myself and my brother, grew up liking the exact same things because they were popular at the exact same time for him that they were for me at that age. So Ninja Turtles, Power Rangers, and their popularity declined at the exact same time that it did for me and my brother. And, so, which funnily enough, like I found out that the Fat Snacks girl that I have a crush on, the Fat Snacks ad girl, is now the new Pink Ranger, which is like bizarre to me, of like this person who I only knew from ads, who I didn't even know what their name was, is now like a Power Ranger, which is, I mean, obviously I don't reach out to does simping include reaching out to the person? Because if it does, I can proudly say I'm not simping.
Does it? Yeah. You have to have this. Yeah. It's something about Mary, but in text, and the guy who's in crutches in that old movie, you have to be arranging your entire online presence so that someday they love you. You have to, every single conversation has to be like a stock. It better be in the green. You got to be moving up. You can't lose ground on this. And if you lose ground, you either gotta dump it or reinvest. No. Yeah, simping always ends the same way. You confess your feelings and then they don't like you. So all you can do is love from afar.
Yeah.
And be comfortable with that.
Yeah.
Occasionally flirt. You're allowed to flirt, but it's got to be you got to, if you're going to simp on somebody, flirt with them really dirty. Like that one thing with Hannibal Buress and Eric Andre, where they go on each other's Tinder accounts and just say Eric Andre just said, I think there's something to not giving a shit. Why are you farting on that car? Or Hannibal Buress, his first line to a girl is you look like a girl who really likes eating Doritos. And Eric said, there's got to be something to this. This guy doesn't give a fuck if this goes well or not at all. I guess I got to go out with him.
Yeah.
So that's what you legitimately have to not try.
Yeah.
It's your line. You can have all the sex you want as long as you don't actively pursue it. And I guess it's opposite. If that's what flirting is, you're legitimately trying to screw your chances.
Yeah.
And it's you're not trying to get a laugh. You're doing the exact opposite.
Exactly.
If I ever tell you, Brian's way of flirting with you is telling you I'm taking a shit right now.
Yeah.
If I told you that, odds are I like you on some dimension.
My way of flirting with you is leaving you entirely alone, completely, not bothering you at all. That's my way of flirting, because I'm always afraid that I'm going to say the wrong thing. And then all of a sudden it's I
wasted 5 years talking to you. And I've projected so much of my future self into the idea of you. I've ran through scenarios where we're lovers. I hug 2 pillows at night thinking of you.
No. Yeah. I've been there. I don't know. I think I've kind of forgotten how to flirt in the most generic sense of the term, because I've taken myself out of the game because it's really not worth it at all to me.
Mhm.
The stress, anything about it. I mean, that, and a lot of the time if someone's flirting with me, if someone's into me, like the last people who were into me, like I did not know, like, and I just don't have like the comprehension, even though I think this, weirdly enough, looking at the screen, and maybe it's because it's slightly pixelated because I'm using mobile hotspot for my phone so that I don't overtax the Wi-Fi in here. And so the screen is pixelated, but I feel like I look really handsome in this stream. And I think it's a lie. Like the mirror is lying a little bit, but still, I just don't, so there are situations where I'm allowed to feel sort of good about myself in a like, oh, Nick is attractive kind of way. But like, I don't stand there thinking like, oh, well, of course it makes sense why she would like me, even though I shouldn't really, think that way about myself. I should think more positively and encouragingly about myself. Why wouldn't people be into, me and stuff? But like, I just can't get there in my head without thinking they're going to think I'm conceited. They're going to think I'm self-absorbed. They're going to think that I think I'm the greatest gift to everything. And like, that's not how it works. It's people are allowed to have positive feelings about themselves. And I don't know why I can't bridge that gap to being like, I'm good. I'm good. And people should.
And a thumb up my nose. Continue.
Oh no, that's all I got. But yeah, just hang back, and if things are going to happen, they'll happen, and if not, then they won't. But I'm fully prepared to be single for the rest of my life, and that's okay. And I need to take a leak.
All right. What do you guys think? Oh, we did that. Everything new is old again. Good question. Will Downs. Hello, Will. Favorite King of the Hill character. My favorite King of the Hill character is one I made up in my head, and it's Hank Hill Has a Good Day. My favorite. What'd you say?
No, I said that's hilarious.
Like, I just want my favorite parts of King of the Hill are the first 11 minutes where everything's going fine and Hank Hill's having a good day. That's all I want. Just have a Hank Hill where nothing goes wrong. Like mall music is Hank Hill and everything goes right for him that day. And he just has a good time. He has a good day at work and Bobby got an A on his test and, Luann's not there. And Peggy tells about like her day. All my collections. $27.86. I don't know if there's some significance to that.
F in the chat.
Oh, F in the chat?
Yeah, apparently. I mean,
all right. We're still rolling on the Zoom. They said it's back. Okay.
Oh, all right. Well, there you
go. All my collections. Generous donation. Interesting ending to it. Hello there. Today's my birthday. Well, happy birthday. She's not running yet, but would you be interested in looking at a 1986 AMC Eagle limited wagon with a stroke Jeep 4.0? You're in New Jersey. So yes, we will need to, we were supposed to do one in Portland, Oregon, but that fell through. But if you have one that's going to work and you're right there in New Jersey and you feel comfortable driving that into the mid-state PA, well then, you know the drill. Year, make, model, city, state, and the title of the email in the body of the email. Put your name, a phone number where I can contact you. Please be sure to spell out your state in its entirety. I need the full word of it to be able to search for it in my inbox. That is regularcars@gmail.com. Year, make, model, city, state, and title of the email. Please spell out the entire name of the state. Thank you very much. Thank you for submitting your car to Regular Car Reviews.
Someone needs to make a vaporwave mix of that.
Yeah. Nathan Depew says, how do I start teaching myself literary analysis? Okay. Start with reader response theory?
Yeah, more or less.
Yeah.
That every sort of work consists of 3 elements. Work of respondent,
Mm-hmm. Which is you.
Yeah, and sort of the dialogue between those two things.
Mm-hmm.
So it's
what's a dialogue?
Well, it's the construction of meaning through engagement, I believe.
Huh?
Yeah. Well, okay. So you figure out what. Oh, okay. Say we're talking about just to throw out a book. Say we're talking about Fight Club.
Yeah.
Even though that's the first rule, is what we're not supposed to talk about it. But the book is essentially that this is what it is, and this is what the author was going for. That like I'm interpreting after having read the book.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's kind of like this back and forth that I'm having with the work that, okay, this is what I bring to it, like my interpretation, but also I'm pulling from the book to sort of reinforce my interpretation, which may or may not be what the author intended, and you see a lot of YouTubers throwing around death of the author to say that, like, once an author completes a work, it no longer is theirs to affix meaning to, because now it's open to interpretation by anybody and everybody. But I think ultimately, the author's reading, that death of the author doesn't mean the author's reading isn't valid. It's just one of many that happens in this great continuum of constructive literary criticism, and constructive in the literal sense, not as in like constructive criticism of helping you get better. Constructive as in we are constructing meaning. Yeah. And we're setting a foundation and building things up. And, by the time you're done building that building, it can have 20 different architects, each with their own sort of styles and interpretations of what the blueprints look like. Right. So, I mean,
take, for instance, even though this is a novel, the end of The Sopranos. The authorial intention ends, but the conversation, the constructive conversation keeps going about what do the last 10 seconds of The Sopranos mean? Yeah. So here's what we have to go on. Here's my theory. Here are the things that happen in those 10 seconds. Here's where logically he could be looking. Yeah. And then it ends.
Yeah. And then, but not only just what happened, but what does it mean?
Yeah.
And so, ultimately what you're going to construct might be at odds with something that someone else believes about it. Well, it probably will be, because nobody is going to universally agree on one thing. And it goes the same way for cars. I don't think there exists, and correct me if I'm wrong, a car that is for the most part universally loved.
Yeah.
And by universal, I mean like over 85% approval, where you can get 85% of people to agree, all right, this is a good car. Because I feel like there will always be a contingent that is not a minority necessarily, like not a small vocal minority, but a large enough number to make it, to prevent to prevent a consensus from forming around a positive consensus from forming around a car. I always feel like there's going to be like between 20%, 25% who will say, oh, that car sucks, or, oh, I've heard that car sucks. It's all perpetuating sort of conversation into the air. Like people are saying like Toyota Corolla, maybe MX-5, Prius has 85% approval. Yeah. It's, I don't know, Crown Vic. I don't know. It's just, I can't think of a car or even like a motorcycle or any real means of conveyance that has universal approval. Maybe a horse.
Yeah.
That's about it.
Jonathan Brands, thank you for the donation. If someone were to send the two of you free stuff, like local beer as an example, where would one send it? I don't have a P.O. box. I should get one. But at the same time, I feel weird, like already you're paying for us to live. So what do I need things for? But I appreciate that people do want to send stuff. I won't give out my address, because I had that problem in the last place I lived. I gave it out to some people, and then somehow other people found it, which means someone violated the first 2 rules of Fight Club.
Yeah.
It got out there, and like weird letters started showing up. So I'm like, got to move now.
Yeah.
Because that means some weirdo who thinks I can make the voices go away, or I can help them with their life's troubles, or because of the way my voice sounds, I will be the father figure that they never have. So then here they are gonna, like drive by my apartment really slowly. So,
yeah.
That was another reason for moving here.
Makes sense.
So
what you can do is set up like an Amazon wish list, which I know it's very much something that you're like, or that people in general are like, like it just reads badly in terms of, it's almost the anticipation of having stuff, checked off a list for you. It's almost like you're getting married, but you're not getting married, but you're still registering somewhere.
People pay into your Amazon account and then you mail it and it comes to your house?
No. It's there's just a wish list of things that you would like to have, and someone will click on the thing, click buy that, and that thing gets sent to you.
Oh,
care of somebody else.
Okay. And they don't see your address.
To my knowledge, no. But also it's like, you can just donate to the Patreon, donate in this chat, and it's more or less the same effect as sending us things. Because I don't know. Also, I don't think local beers would necessarily fit in a P.O. box unless you got a large one.
Right. And plus in Pennsylvania, you can't mail alcohol. It's a weird thing about the Commonwealth. Mortal Engines came out in 2018.
Yeah.
I've only heard about this like today.
Yeah, it was based on a popular book series. Well, I don't know if it was popular. I do know the movie.
I like the concept. I'll bet it's totally ruined with people.
Well, it's one of those things where like it's a nice concept that doesn't have a story to support it, or a good enough story to support it.
Yeah.
And there are plenty of
Mad Max, but it's Howl's Moving Castle, and like I need like multiple books to explain to me, okay, let's put the cities on tank treads, and now they're going to be like ships and like a big moving, and like you're going to get resources from you can't mine anymore. There's no farming. It's like my mind gets hurt with some of these sci-fi films where they don't explain, like, I can't always go with it, Morty. Like, it's like my mind hurts trying to work through the logistics in my head.
Yeah.
Like Star Wars and Star Trek makes more sense to me because you can technobabble your way through it.
Yeah.
Stuff like Snowpiercer just hurts my head. Like, what?
Yeah, because there's so much that the issue of having a train that's perpetually running around the world in the middle of a nuclear winter. Or like an ice age. It's just strange that
trains fuck up all the time and somehow this doesn't.
Yeah, it's like,
that's not what it's about. It's like, maybe it's the American thing that we need. You have to have a foundation for this unworkable premise to work.
Yeah.
That's why, like, why does Mad Max work so well?
Because it's a don't think about it premise.
I know, but I'm agreeing with you.
Yeah.
How is like Snowpiercer and Mortal Engines don't think about it, but I'm thinking about it. But when I watch Mad Max, I don't think about it.
Maybe part of it is the style of the filmmaking. It's more kinetic and more visceral, so that your senses are being assaulted by like just imagery and action and just pulsating, which is more true of Fury Road than the other Mad Max movies, but it still holds for the other Mad Max movies in addition to Fury Road. I mean, there's a lot going on in those movies to distract you from thinking about them.
Yeah. The only thing I hated about the first Mad Max is that the switchable supercharger. Like, that's not how that works.
Yeah.
It's not how anything works.
Yeah.
If that happened, you would blow your engine immediately. But okay, like all right, that hurt my brain a little bit, but everything else was fine. And I could understand like these, well, okay, supercharging and turbocharging does happen at the same time. And yes, you can have a dual engine car or truck or something like that. That works. Because, well, okay, you know why it doesn't work? Because all those cars in Fury Road work.
Yeah.
There are running vehicles. So, okay, I'm with it. Like, and a guy in the front playing a guitar, like, all right,
whatever. Yeah, like that's it can be done through practical effects.
Yeah.
So that like if someone wanted to do that now, they could.
That guy was doing that.
Yeah, he was legit doing it. And what's crazy is that when you look at these movies that are supposedly like, fall apart if you think about them for more than 2 seconds, they have to be cool enough for you not to care.
Yeah.
Which, okay, to be fair, Snowpiercer is pretty cool. But it's also something where a lot of the movie is so internal and cerebral that you can't help but think about the premise and how it doesn't work.
Yeah.
Or how there are fundamental issues. Crispin Dry in the regular chat makes mention that where are the refineries making the oil and the petrol that all these vehicles run on? Which I mean,
Gastown.
Yeah. Well, they explain it. Yeah. There you go.
Going to Gastown. Okay.
All right.
Like there is like. I know they don't explain it in the movie, but afterwards, that's an oil. There's like a comic book that they put out leading up to the events of Fury Road. That Gastown was a oil refinery, and Bullet Town is a lead mine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like, that's the only line that you need in the movie to explain how these vehicles are running. It's like, well, that's the guy from Gastown, or that's like the chief of Gastown.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that explains where all the gas comes from. Yeah. All right. Where's the ammunition for all these weapons coming from? Oh, it's the bullet farm is coming. It's like, okay, well, there you go. Mm-hmm. And it's all these things where it's and that's great world building that it sort of builds this exterior world that feels lived in within the interior of the work. And so that you can almost buy, or that you can buy, that these are all things that are actually happening in a world that feels actually real.
And who directed the first Dune, one in the 80s?
Oh, David Lynch.
David Lynch. That one didn't hurt my brain either. But they had the big explanation, like in the beginning, setting everything up for that slow movie.
The spice melange.
And now we got the new one.
Yeah, now we got the new one.
I want to watch it. I don't have. So that's another thing. Like, I need like, I don't know, this place isn't built yet for a TV anywhere, and this is the only couch, and it just faces the dinner table.
Yeah.
So I do want to get like a TV. It would have to go in the attic, but I need to build like an articulating arm that would go off of the ceiling joists, and then you could kind of watch it up there. But it gets kind of dusty up there, so you need like all this stuff to be wanting to watch the new Dune. And I hope it's not going to be, hey, it's a love story.
No,
fuck you and your space love stories.
Well, this is Denis Villeneuve, who did Blade Runner 2049.
Okay.
And Arrival.
What was she in that?
Huh?
In 2049, which role did she play in that?
No. Denis Villeneuve is the director.
Oh, excuse me. I'm sorry.
No. And so he did Blade Runner 2049, Arrival, Prisoners, something else I'm forgetting. But like, he hasn't had a bad movie yet.
Okay.
And I don't think he's going to start with this. Now, that's not to say that like his movies haven't had love stories. Like Arrival kind of has one, but Arrival is like basically literary theory, like pornography. Well, not. It's one of those things that almost feels like it was made for English majors and people who are big into semiotics. But it's a great movie. It really is. And yeah, but how do we even get on all of this? I don't even remember. It had to do with one of the questions we got, I'm sure.
Yeah. The last one was what's your address?
Oh, yeah. Well,
sorry, we're not giving it out, but I appreciate you wanting
to.
Yeah,
we appreciate it. Yeah.
Charlie Matthews, thank you for your donation. God bless you for bashing on the utilitarian obsession with pickup trucks. I'm not hauling hay bales every day and regret not going for a 4Runner. I'm a I'm a 5-speed auto, 4x4, 4-liter Tacoma turd. The 5-speed auto, 4x4 Tacoma. TR. Yeah. That's all it is. I was looking at Tacomas again. I have some furniture I need. Like, I don't know, let's buy a $5,000. Like, even for $5,000, like a Toyota from like the 90s is still too much. And then they're all rusted out and they're all 400,000 miles and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Pennsylvania things are all rusted out. But I don't know, maybe I could sell it. That's the whole idea. Like, can I make this stock go up? I bought some like semiconductor stock that wasn't AMD. I think we talked about it before. It's up, but it's up like 12 cents. And I'm like, come on, man. I bought you with my dividend, my free dividend money. That's the devilish thing when capitalism starts working for you. I mean, you mean I'm just getting money for having money with you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Here's $50. Happy quarter. Okay. Yep.
It's I just opened my account, my Roth IRA, and so I'm in there and doing the thing. Stonks. And yeah, I'm seeing like it's healthy right now for my first 3 days. I mean, for crying out loud, but it's also because I'm not being very risky at the moment. Like, I didn't do the whole mutual fund thing because it's like getting a gift basket, and like half the things that you would get, you're just going to like throw out or give to someone else anyway.
Pomegranate shampoo. Well, I need shampoo, but
do I want to smell like Persephone? It's just I kind of I don't know. I gave a look into like automotive companies. I'm like, no. And then I looked into video game companies, and actually Activision Blizzard is doing pretty well. So I got some shares in that.
DLC.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Call of Duty. Well, I mean, I think there's a new Call of Duty out. So that's like
EA.
No, I think that's Activision.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And so that's just going to be like pay to play type games as service bullshit. And people are just going to keep sinking money in there. Now, granted, it's like, early going, but I don't know. It is what it is.
Adam Rossi says, and we're swinging up to 2 hours. So
let's
get the sign. Yeah. Mr. Regular, speaking of the Appalachian Trail, do you still have plans for a Thru-Hike? Not at this moment. And document it for us in the future. I'd love to do it. I met a guy who lives a few towns over, and he had to do a flip-flop. That's an AT term, meaning he did the entire Appalachian Trail, but he had to flip-flop over a season, which means he wasn't able to finish it. He ran out of time before winter. Like, it's not like he could have kept going, but you see, there's a time limit with the Appalachian Trail. Most people start in Georgia, end in Maine, and you follow the summer as it goes up. But the Baxter, I think it's Baxter State Park in Maine, closes October something or other. So it's illegal to climb Mount Katahdin after October something, because it's like, look, it's too cold. Yeah. You're going to die doing this. You say, oh, it's only October. No, it's going to start snowing in northern Maine. So we can't have you out here. And there's no way we can rescue you either.
Yeah, exactly. It's like the old Bill Burr story about how, there are people who will just listen or ignore, not listen, literally the opposite, who will ignore those warnings, go out, and then now, because you're being an asshole, you're imperiling the lives of the people who now have to come save your dumb ass. Yeah. But it's better if and unfortunately, I think it's similar to those, when hurricane season comes around and they say evacuate. You don't understand. This will put an egg through a brick wall. We cannot come and save you if you don't get out. Yeah. And for some people, they just can't get out.
No amount of motivational quotes is going to keep you alive in this wind, and it's gonna sleet sideways on this mountain. Yeah. Good luck.
If you are invincible, have at it. Yeah. If you're
you are now on, there ought to be this thing we're not coming to get you. Yeah. You pass this, Eventually, that'd be kind of cool. Like, well, you're not, that's terrible, but no one's coming to get you.
Yeah.
Like, there is no safety net now.
Yeah. No.
You cannot call on your fellow man because they warned you.
Yeah.
Anyway.
We are a wank session to Tub Girl. We are not coming.
So, yeah. Oh, anyway. So there was this guy, and there still is this guy. He completed the AT. It took him 2 seasons. So he got to finish Pennsylvania. He got to Delaware Water Gap, and he knew it was like mid-August by the time he was there. He's a month behind, and he can't make that back. He said, but I really wanted to get to Mount Katahdin on my 70th birthday. So he was hiking this at 70.
Was that the really fit guy that you showed on the phone?
Yeah, he had freaking guns.
Damn.
Like, and like, how are you this fit at 70? And like, not only fit, but I'm walking, and you see him walk, and he's limber. It's like the Vince McMahon walk.
Yeah.
It's like, are you on gear?
Yeah.
Like, if that would explain it to me, I would no longer be confused, and I have no problem with you doing a few cycles.
Yeah.
You know, but so then he had to finish it next year at age 71. He went back, picked up where he left off, and hiked the rest of the way to Maine next year.
I mean, if he was on gear, his heart would have exploded by now. Like, unless it was a recent thing that he started. But even then, it's like the guy, if he doesn't have the posture or gait of an old man.
No, he looked in his like mid-50s.
Like De Niro in The Irishman, like the opposite of that.
Yeah.
You know,
I had to go back and watch, like, when you went to the bathroom at the cafe, I had to just go back and watch him in Heat to remind myself that De Niro was once limber.
Yeah.
And he's like kicking people's ass. Oh, that's a person's neck moves.
Yeah.
Like there's freakish thing that happens, like, I guess after 60, where men don't move their neck anymore. You got the old guy who's got like, he has to move his shoulders and everything to look at you because his neck only has 20 degrees of variance from side to side.
Yeah, it's strange. I don't have many or really much of any older gentlemen in my life in terms of like family members who I could use as a frame of reference for how old men move.
Yeah.
Like, I don't have that at all. I have my uncle, but he's not really that old. And well, I guess my mom's brother is a little bit older, and but even then, like, okay, yeah, he kind of is like full like head turn rather than neck turn, or like a body turn. Yeah, just torso. But I don't know. I never really thought about that before, about how like just the sort of mobility of the neck just changes with time. For men, but for men.
Yeah,
like
for men, yeah.
Because I never see, like, my mom, she's like, she's in her late 60s, and I don't think, like, I've never seen her like have any sort of, like, she has arthritis in the hands, but like other things, it's just like, you know, I don't know.
There was an old Dan Neal article where he talked about cars having to accommodate, you know, older folks. See, now I'm like hypersensitive. Like, is my neck stiffen up? Where there was, he put on this suit that mimicked what it feels like to be elderly. And it was like, the suit was like a backpack with a bunch of ratchet straps on it that cranks your arms down and like limits the amount of movement your arms can do. And you have to wear shoes that have heels on the front to make your ankles hurt to walk around. So you've got like ratchet straps coming down from your shoulders to your belt, hunching your front body over so you can't stand up all the way.
Yeah. That sounds, and I know I'm going to pay for, in karma wise, for saying it. That sounds like an over exaggeration. Like, and I'm sure, you know, if I make it to that age, then like, I'm sure I'll pay for having said that, but I don't know. I mean, of course I say that, but you know, I don't actually remember what it's like to not have back pain, or, you know, just the typical back pain that comes with, you know, age and shitty posture and sitting at a computer for a lot of time. So yeah.
Beagle Diary asks, what is Pennsylvania for? It's for driving through to get to New York, just for driving through for Midwesterners to get to the beach.
It's for, I don't know, being a microcosm of America at large, because I feel like Pennsylvania is the pizza of the contiguous United States in the sense that all we need is a beach, and you would literally have every.
Technically, we do. All the way up in Erie. You can go swimming in Lake Erie.
But you would have the same way that like you can get all of the food groups represented on pizza if you want to. You can get every sort of climate and sort of region represented within Pennsylvania. You got like the sort of the mountainous regions, the farmland, the cities, the beach, I guess. It's just, and the variance of attitudes and cultures that sort of blend together in a way that maybe they don't in certain places that are further north or further south or further west. I feel like this is a micro, because people come here from everywhere, like not just in the United States. I just mean like Pennsylvania in general. And you get this wonderful melange of different cultures and accents and personalities. And that's why sometimes it can be a little bit hard to stereotype PA, because the generalized stereotype of PA regionally. But if you look at the actual demographic makeup of Pennsylvania, it's changing more and more as the time goes on. So, what's Pennsylvania for? What isn't it for? Other than,
Gilbert G says, speaking of Chevy, the New Jersey Corvair has tires that hold air finally, headlights, brake lights, and some brakes. That's good. Tell me when you have all of them. I hope you guys are still interested in reviewing it. There's more than one, I think. And if yours is the black one, and I think I know the one you're talking about. I think I talked to you once or twice. Good. Thank you for the update. And thank you for the donation to give me the update. I appreciate it.
Very nice. Thank you.
Hi Glack says, are there any new cars that you would be afraid to drive for a review? Well, very, very expensive ones, like a Glickenhaus or something like that. Like, for example, if you somehow got the chance to drive a Group B car, would you? No, that's no problem. I mean, that's a race car. It's everything simplified on the inside, and it probably has, a sequential gearbox. Like, are there any cars? Oh, he didn't say new cars. Okay. Yeah, like steam era crap and like stuff from the 30s that it's super weird, and like stuff you can't buy parts for, or like project cars that aren't finished. Like, you can to close the door, don't pull on it. Like where stuff's like, this thing, that screw's about to fall out. Like people bring us cars that are falling apart, or like every single button has a special way you got to push it to make it work. Yeah, like that. Like or you don't tell me that if I put the window down, it's not going to go back up again. That stuff
makes me think that Diary of Ames, Iowa again, of the pushing down the water fountain button when you're a kid, because only you can ascend through the hierarchy of childhood if you're strong enough to push down.
That hard metal,
metal spring loaded
metal one. Yeah. It's like there's a valve. It's like there's a rocker spring, a valve spring underneath that you're trying to compress by hand.
Yeah.
Sometimes you can get the heel of your hand in there, but sometimes your little hand is too soft and it won't press it in. You don't have the bone, there's too much baby fat on your hand, so it doesn't press it down, and then you start crying because you can't get the water, or you just get the little bit out, and then you got to put your mouth on that nipple, and fuck everything else. I'm thirsty. Soccer is a bitch.
Yeah, but once you finally get it going, everybody hurry up. Drink it now, quick.
Yeah.
This hurts.
Good question. Boris T.S. Karloff. Ham on rye available for a limited time at Sam and Neela's Sandwich Shop, located across the street from Kunkelman Chevrolet and Sam and Ella's Sandwich Shop. Ham on rye. Yeah, it's like best in town. You know, like world famous best in town Sam and Ella Sandwich Shop. Try the big, try the one that's called the Big Neighborhood.
Yeah.
It's like club sandwiches, but now four pieces of bread. Ellie's favorite, and it's just they'll put liver on it if you ask for it. It's like their entire decor is just old Pizza Hut chairs and stuff.
Yeah.
They'll serve you water and it comes in one of those white styrofoam cups that you now can't get anymore because they have like a whole truck full of them.
Yeah.
No water ever tastes good coming out of those things.
Nope.
Did you ever chew on them as a kid? You make those bite marks. You just like,
yes. Well, I mean, as a child, I had an oral fixation, so I bit on everything. I'm just like straws, coffee stirs, toothpicks, just little bits of plastic from like action figure cases and, things.
Rec just says, jingle balls, my sweatpants are all gray. Cool. I guess a line for my Christmas song. Rec. Thank you, Rec. Anthony J 1966. Thank you for your donation. You guys should call the last song the hard soft core. That last song, the hard soft core. I guess me talking about.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
This is
good
my
idea.
Christmas
Thank
carol.
Boris T.S. Karloff again saying, I pooped while typing this. Awesome. Shandel Bar, thank you for your generous donation. Hey guys, I just want to say love the channel. Love you for helping us live. Keep up the good work, and I'm excited to get a new NC Miata after the winter as my fun car. You'll be happy with it. They're good buys, right? They are good buys right now because they're on their way down. Everybody wants either the D or the B, and A's are starting to get nuts, the clean ones. Good choice. Riley Livingston, thank you for your generous donation.
Thank you so much.
I drank hot brown. Now I have the hot brown. Hey, as is tradition, right?
Yeah.
Andrew Palmer, thank you for your donation. How do you explain the sensation of riding a motorcycle to people who haven't been on two wheels? And you've heard me say this before. Riding a motorcycle is like being stuck behind mall walkers. Or riding a motorcycle is like skiing, but that doesn't work if you've never skied. Riding a motorcycle is like being in control of your life's trajectory in a way you may have never felt before. Before RCR, and honestly, even before I had a teaching career, I felt like I had no control and no agency at all in my life. But when I was on the motorcycle, I was in control in this moment. There is a tremendous responsibility to keep myself alive right now and predict the actions of others. It was in a Jocko Willink way. It was very detached, engaged and detached. And nothing really bothered me when I was on it. And also that was the only thing I owned at the time. Living with your parents, your car isn't even your car. It's their car. It's in their name. And they paid for it. My Dodge Neon. And so like when I would get punished at home, my parents would just take away things, including my car keys. So the only thing I really had that I could call my own was my computer. But even that was limited because they're paying for the internet.
Yeah.
So we're going to turn off the internet and that. So, but the one thing legally that I had was this Suzuki GS500 motorcycle. That was mine. I own the title. This is my property.
Yeah.
So owning that gave me a feeling of structure. Looking back, what I should have done instead of farting around for all those years is just do a tour with the Navy or the Air Force, and that would have been better. Oh, well. But I don't know, like Tom Mansell right now is just thinking Brian wouldn't have lasted in the military. And I'm like, probably right. I didn't have myself together mentally to handle that type of stress. They probably would have me washing dishes or something like that. And that's how I would survive the wars in Afghanistan.
Yeah, no.
Andrew Palmer says, oh, that was a motorcycle question. Refresh.
People who need people are the luckiest people in the world.
Got a bunch still. Cematoria. What is my favorite? I'm not a poem guy. What's your favorite poem or poet? I'm not a poet or poem guy at all.
Neither am I. I can't. I tried so many times, I swear. And I respect the form so much. I really do. I've been to open mic nights where people have performed spoken word and live poetry. And I respect so much the ability to not just write in that format, but also to perform in that format. But I just don't like poems. I don't.
Yeah.
Prose, or I'm trying to think of something pithy of like prose or bust. Prose
Gil
before.
Scott Heron works. That's my favorite poet is Gil Scott Heron. Because there's a story. There's a story going on. And Gil Scott Heron doesn't hold his artwork above you. That's it. He wants you to understand what he is going through. He wants you to understand. And he's trying to explain to a white audience the Black experience. And as of yet, I don't know if anybody has matched him yet. Because he made it digestible.
Yeah.
And it's like explaining, like when we were talking about literary theory, and I was playing the fool there. What does this mean? What does that mean? Okay, I will explain it to you very simply. And okay, is he rapping? I mean, there's a bong. Like in some of the recordings, you had like bongos in the background. But you got to remember, this is the late 60s, early 70s.
Yeah.
So, and I think some of them have been re-recorded with more instruments. So like, but it's really not. Like it works without musical accompaniment. So it's still poetry. So there you go. There's my answer. And the woo is forever. Joseph Rochester says, replacing the wife's 2004 Honda Element. What should we get in staying in the small SUV segment? Well, you can go small. Well, not smaller anymore. See, the Element, every single other SUV is going to be smaller in size. It's going to be less practical than the Element.
Yeah.
You are going, it's a step down in every single direction if you want an SUV as far as interior space. Every small, there will be larger small SUVs than the Honda Element with less interior space. The RAV4 is the only thing I can think of. And that's just going to be an SUV.
Yeah. In a very
older Forester, maybe.
No, I wouldn't even go that far. I think like an older, actually, would a Tacoma maybe work? Maybe
Tacoma with a topper on the back. Yeah. Taco with a topper. That could get you there.
Someone in the comments says Suburban.
Yeah, good investment. Yeah, there's nothing gonna do it.
I can't.
You can't do it. RAV4 CRV, man. You're gonna have to go to a larger SUV to match the interior space and versatility of the Honda Element. Yep, no two ways about it. Redneck level 22. Thank you for your donation. I'd love a video of the late 80s microcar invasion. Ford Festiva, we did one of those. Geo Metro didn't do one of those. Volkswagen Fox didn't do one of those. Subaru Justy, oh, I'd love to get my hands on Subaru Justy. Yeah. See, that's the late 80s microcar. They're not really microcars because Americans still fit it. They're not Japanese K cars. So I don't call them microcars. They're just compact cars. And that's when compact cars finally actually moved a little bit because they're better than the Chevy Chevette. Parker. Oh, I'm sorry.
Eli Jackson said we skipped a super chat.
No, excuse me, Eli. First, I'm going to go up to see if we didn't get to it yet. Scrolling up. All right. I don't see an Eli Jackson above you. Eli Jackson. Okay, there's favorite poem. Rick, High Glack, Bear, Adam, John, Nathan, all my collections. Will Downs, Nikki, Tim, Bear, Jasper, Cameron, Schatz, American Man, JB, Folly, Mercy, Scott, Blake, Difference, Aaron, Village, James, Bob, Rec, Crazy, Murray, Rec, Dan, Zach, Dan, Eli.
Elijah Jackson.
And this is a guy I skipped. 7th generation Honda 6MT for $5,000 instead of a Camry 6MT. Not sure what the question is, but both those cars are awesome. Thanks. Hippie, Theo, Iced, Junk, Giraffe, Andrew, Boris, that guy, Phil, Blick, Miat. Okay, now we're into last time.
I asked him in the regular chat if he can re-ask his question without like doing the whole super chat thing. It might have been where the video cut out, so maybe it didn't go through.
Maybe.
But yeah, I'll keep an eye on the regular chat and keep note of the question once he re-asks.
Parker Smith, thank you for your donation. Dearest lads, I love RCR and love to support the work you do. Have you guys considered doing more Patreon tiers? No, I don't have time. If you want to donate on Patreon, thank you. RCR takes up so much time to do. Like, I can't do extra stuff. Like almost every single day, if I keep rolling videos like we've been doing and haven't taken a week off, there's no time off. We just keep doing it. And plus filming every weekend.
Yeah.
So there's just no time for myself to decompress. So I'm sorry. I don't have time.
All right. Here's
so that we can support you more on a monthly basis. Like you're at this point where you guys are helping RCR go really, really well. There's not really more money I need. So, yeah. I mean, it's fun doing the podcast because the podcast was just really a chance to hang out and bullshit. So
yeah,
do that. But thank you so much. Hey, the super chats are just fine. Thank you.
Elijah Jackson. I have a 1981 Kawasaki KZ 550. Should I keep it as my first motorcycle or just flip it and buy a Ninja 250?
I don't see what a Ninja 250 is going to do that KZ 550 won't. I mean, a Ninja 250 is going to be a sport bike. It's going to be smaller, and honestly, it's going to have so little torque. You may not like that decision. If you're already learning on the KZ 550, it's fine. What year did you say it was?
Oh, sorry. I have to scroll back up. 1981. And he also added, is it a better learning platform?
All right. Either he has it or is it a good learning platform? If he said that, maybe that means he hasn't started learning on it yet. Maybe he was given this bike. A KZ 550. I mean, it's a UJM from the 80s. They're tame. You can learn on a KZ 550. It's going to be heavier than a Ninja. All right, a Ninja 250. It depends. If you've already started on the KZ 550, riding it around, and that's your introduction to a bike, fine. If you feel intimidated by it and you honestly want something physically lighter, Ninja 250 is going to be slower, but it's not going to be really, it's not going to, KZ 550 is just it's a nondescript universal Japanese motorcycle. It's upright. It's completely benign. The only thing that may be odd about it is I think a KZ 550 is 4 cylinders. But even if it's a twin, it doesn't matter. They both kind of feel the same. I don't like neither of the bike. I mean, the Ninja 250 has a little bit more personality to it because it's smaller, but it also depends how big you are. Like if you're my height, I'm 5'11". Ninja 250 is going to be almost too small for you.
Yeah.
We're talking like the one that existed forever, not the Ninja 300. That's a little bit more accommodating, but I'd have to learn more. Now, if the KZ 550 is in bad shape, see, a KZ 550 is worth like $800.
He expanded on it, saying it doesn't run yet. I was just seeing fix and flip it or keep it, or fix and flip it or keep it.
Did he buy it? Did he inherit it?
Don't know.
It's going to be hard to flip a bike like that.
Yeah.
What would I pay for it? Oh, I don't want one.
Yeah,
that was my answer. $800. Yeah. Can you repair it and make more than? You put tires on that thing, it's going to be $200.
Yeah. But
At least.
like, not necessarily what would you personally pay for it, but like if it were your bike and you decided for whatever crazy reason, I'm
You're
trying
learning
to
to
flip this.
ride it. How do you know how to fix it and then learn to ride it? Oh boy.
Yeah, it's tough.
Oh my goodness.
I guess
Fixing a bike and then learning on it. So not only is the bike going to be working against you, but also any repairs. You want a bike that's ready to go, because now you're splitting your attention. You have to diagnose the problems of the bike at the same time learning the skill of operating a motorbike. That's a bad decision.
Yeah, it's not really a
You should have a bike that already runs. Well, then flip it and start it. Is this guy already a mechanic? Does he work at a shop?
There are too many variables.
I know.
And unknowns. But
my advice is sell that for the $50 it's worth in scrap. And like, it's got a good title. Take it, get rid of it, and buy a bike, and buy a $1,000 bike that works. Yeah. That needs nothing and is ready to ride and passes inspection, because your goal of learning to ride a bike is not to fix it. It's to get out there and get your hours in traffic.
Yeah, pretty much.
Good question. Thank you for donating regular car reviews.
Thank you. Thank you.
Salt you the way through.
Yeah.
Very legal and very cool. Thoughts on reviewing a 1989 Pacific Seacrafts 34 sailboat. I hate sailboats. I hate the water. Boats are stupid. They're for assholes. Go on a boat and go back to the dock. That's what you do on a boat. You go in a circle, pretend that you're rich. You're a guy named Mike. Mike's got a boat. His wife is getting fatter. He doesn't care because the pussy is deep. You should film our dinghy. Has a motor. Emailed you, but I'll Google pictures. God, I hate boats. It started out as like the thing, like you can't even get in them like a car. Someone has to stabilize the stupid thing on the side of the dock, and like, oh, you got to get in it. And now you're in it. And then you know what a boat is great for? It's great for looking at. You know what's better than a boat? An inner tube. You can just bob along on the Delaware River, sipping Mike's Hard Lemonade out of a water bottle. You just feel like sipping Mike's Hard Lemonade out of a washed out Gatorade bottle.
And then, if you need a leak, you just sink a little deeper and then just let it go. Then you
don't even have to clean up.
Yeah, no, it's all, it's nature's
God,
bounty.
Boats are stupid, and you still need a truck. Boats. What's a boat? It's a floating piece of fiberglass that you go on to and comment what a beautiful day it is. I'd rather play golf. Thanks, very legal, very cool. Thank you for the donation to regular car reviews. Nicholas Alesso. Thank you for your donation. How do you want folks to send you cars if you were going to be near you in Pennsylvania on a specific date or series of dates? It doesn't work like that. Weather works against you. Like, hey, I'm coming through Pennsylvania. It doesn't work like that.
Yeah, it's
too many things have to align.
Yeah.
Unless you're bringing me a surgically clean manual transmission Dodge Neon Highline, I can't rework my schedule for that. A lot of these cars are scheduled months in advance with backup dates and stuff.
Yeah,
and especially now there are people who live in Pennsylvania, Maryland, New Jersey. That's kind of it. Well, Delaware too.
Yeah.
Delaware, the state that you forgot. We're used to it.
Oh, Delaware.
Not being sober makes me angrier. I can remember like past streams where I'm just like, just agreeing with people when because I'm I got the 2 beer buzz. Everything's kind of cool.
Yeah.
But now I'm complainy. So I'm like channeling Nick Mullen here.
Nah.
Nicholas DeLesso. I just answered your question. Eliza Jackson. Oh, there he is.
Oh, yeah.
So we didn't get to you. You didn't hear your question and then got all cranky.
I don't
John
know what that was.
Brands. What is your Mount Rushmore not yet of reviewed modes of transportation? Okay, my top 4. Wait, what? What is your Mount Rushmore of not yet reviewed modes of transportation? Car, boat, plane, or bus? Of not yet reviewed modes of transportation. Okay. My top 5 things we haven't. Oh, my wish list. Okay.
Oh.
AMC Eagle, Dodge Neon, first generation manual transmission, ideally double cam.
Wait, is this a Mount Rushmore question?
Like, see, Mount Rushmore is weird because it implies things that were once great, but things we haven't done yet. So I don't.
Yeah.
I'm just answering it like, what are 4 cars I want to review? So you got those 2. Morgan 3-wheeler.
Well, there's only 4 heads on Mount Rushmore, which is part of the problem. 4 is too few to really get down into a list.
And the only thing it works in is measures and rock and roll.
Ooh, that's a good one.
I
gotta get my phone charged because I'm down to 14%, even though I didn't do anything. I need my phone because I'm a millennial.
I'm down to 44%, and I gotta use this to go to my gym. What's my battery health on my iPhone 6? Now, when I got this, I had the battery replaced under like don't hate us clause, the $35 new battery that brought it back up to 100%. What's my battery health on this iPhone 6S? Is it under general? Passwords, contracts, reminder, measure, photos, camera, and now we're into my apps. So it's going to be under general. Nope, it's not under general. Power settings, control center, no. Screen time, cellular, accessibility, SOS. There it is, battery. And my health is, oh, you got to scroll down, 83%. So, okay, my maximum capacity. So I'm down a quarter. What am I going to get after this phone? Am I going to stick with Apple? I love that headphone jack. I may have to just go Galaxy. There's just no ways about it.
No, I mean, that's why I am, because I need a headphone jack. Yeah. I don't mess with those Bluetooth headphones. I'm sorry. I can't have it. I won't have it.
It's a sweet backup. Like I like the Bluetooth headphones, but there's been time where the Bluetooth headphones died, usually on an airplane. I'm like, shit, I forgot to charge my headphones.
Yeah, it's just one bullshit thing I got to remember to charge.
Yeah.
I'm not going to remember to charge these. I'm me.
Yeah.
You don't understand, guys. I'm me.
And also, with a headphone jack, you can plug this into a mixing board and do other things with it.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It's like how computers don't have, like, CD things anymore.
The John Brands. Well, we just did that. Hayden Brush says, do you remember Quiznos? Yeah, I remember Quiznos. I guess there's a really good video from Company Man on the death of Quiznos. So, yeah, I remember Quiznos. It was like surged in like 2004 and then like went away. They like took out loans and like double mortgages and then they just folded.
Yeesh.
Nerf guy on the bench says, hi, Mr. R. Not sure if this is allowed, but I sent you an email about my Buick Century grandma car. I was wondering if you'd take a look. As long as it was formatted correctly, I saved it.
Yeah.
Thank you for the donation. Usually when people email me things, as long as it's formatted correctly, it goes right in the submissions folder and I don't read it. But I save it because we can only think about and schedule so many cars at a time. And I'm sorry, I can't take a look at it, or search for it. But thank you so much for your donation. I appreciated it. I appreciate it. Buick Century. I don't know which Buick Century. You already did a Buick Century. I think we did more than one. Anyway, thank you so much. Anthony Gamboa. Should a CJ7 have a 4 or 5 point harness? Well, what are you doing with it? Are you driving around? Like, okay, I think it should have a regular old 3-pointer. And this is because of what Monica Harrison said. It's like, you want to be able to get out of the car in an accident. Having a 4-pointer doesn't make you any safer on the highway. That's for racing. And a 4-pointer is made to have you in front of the steering wheel, and you may have to slide out of there. And they're not easy to get out of. So being able to exit the vehicle is important. So I'm going to say you shouldn't have like a 4 or 5 point harness for street driving. Now, if you're taking that CJ7, you got a roll cage in it and you're going rock crawling, then yes. Yes, if you're actually doing motorsports with it, you should have a roll cage and a harness. But you're not. If you're driving it on the street, you should just, the 3-pointer, it's just fine. Quacum Metaphilia or something like that. $6.90. Nice. No question this week. As much as I like to know how you pronounce my name, it's Quonksum Metphilida. You'd have to honestly like make a video and like say it to me.
Quonksum Metphilida. I don't know.
Quonksum Metphilida. Love you guys. Be safe. Thank you so much. I appreciate your donation. Because Race Car says, if you had the chance to have dinner with 2 deceased automotive icons, who would they be? It would be Iacocca in his prime. Actually, Iacocca when he was still with Ford and tell him to get out. Or, you know, he's probably just like everybody's Pennsylvania grandpa. So I'm probably really not missing much. And I would want to be with people who look like they wanted to hang around and be personable. Yeah. Like, I have a hard time carrying a conversation. People in the automotive world that I would want to hang out with.
Yeah, but the dead people in the automotive world that you'd want to hang out with, which makes it harder.
I can't think of any. Like, if I want to have lunch with some famous person, well, I would only want to have lunch with them if they wanted to have lunch with me. Like, like in these situations, I start thinking like I've tricked them into being here. Okay, well, Brian, think of somebody who, okay, imagine they wanted to hang out with you. But that still feels like I'm tricking someone. Brian, just answer the question. Who?
Harley Earl.
Okay.
I would like to hang out with. Because he seems like someone you could have a beer, or seemed like someone you could have a beer with. And I guess Lee Iacocca, but barring Iacocca, do your brain thing. John DeLorean, maybe? Because he seems like you'd have fun with him.
I wouldn't want to be the only person at the table with him.
Yeah.
That's another thing of this fantasy. Like, one-on-one, when I have lunch with somebody one-on-one, I don't talk that much. I'm terrible one-on-one. I'm great in foursomes. Foursomes, I think, is good. That's a good lunch. 4 people.
Yeah. Foursomes are good. Threesomes, all right. Twosomes, not as good. Lonesome is worse.
Yeah.
But I think ultimately the quality of the conversation is not going to rely so much on us necessarily. It'll rely on the person. Like, okay, so say in this situation that
Tom Clark from The Enemy is great to have lunch with, because he does, like, you're not expected to talk and he's not going to talk much either. That's a great one-on-one. I think at one point him and I just had lunch and we just didn't say anything.
Yeah.
But that's great. That's a lunch that I love.
Yeah, because there's no expectation of anything. So, you know, and in this hypothetical scenario, I wonder if we're going back in time or if we're bringing them back to life for lunch, which, I mean, it's weird because then the whole conversation, we can tell them about all the things that they missed, like
Ben
explain.
Franklin, I could wholeheartedly, that guy looks like he knows how to party.
Yeah.
He fucked most of France. Awesome.
Tremendous.
Yeah. Ben Franklin. Because he seems like a guy who could exist in the modern world. Everybody else just seemed tracked in their time. He seemed unbound. Or maybe that was the image he was going for.
Maybe, yeah.
Good question, because
Good question.
Tristan Green. Cheers. What is your go-to dish to determine whether or not you will have a relationship with a restaurant? Ooh, okay. Sometimes you can go burger because you can judge a restaurant by how good they burg. But some restaurants are very good and they have burgers as an afterthought, like for the kids. Like name your blah blah family restaurant. They'll have a burger, but it'll be a concession stand burger.
Yeah.
So that's out. Club sandwich is pretty hard to fuck up.
Yeah.
That's a good barometer. It really shows you if they have a good toaster or not, because that's the crutch of a club sandwich. Like the perfect, slightly underdone. You can't toast that too much.
No.
It's got to be on the underdone side. Have a good club sandwich.
But even if they don't have a good toaster, they still got to have an oven. You know what I mean? It's like the idea of toaster. Well, okay, this is not an official rule of how he approaches it, but I've seen enough episodes of Kitchen Nightmares to discover a pattern that whenever Gordon Ramsay wants to test out the food in a place, he always orders the crab cakes. And the reason that I've surmised is because his palate is able to discern between real crab and imitation crab. And if they're serving imitation crab, then nothing else they serve is going to be good either. Like that's kind of like the approach. Now, for me personally, it all has to come with breakfast. If you fuck up an egg, like we got nothing to talk about.
It was like, I know, another name drop, but when we were having lunch with Farrah at that place that just did eggs.
Ooh.
Yeah. Or breakfast. Yeah. Breakfast. Because what else are you going to do? Eggs is morning. Yeah. It
was delicious.
The Eggs Benedict. We had to go to the other side of the planet to get a place that could do Eggs Benedict that well.
Yeah. I was busting so many nuts. It looked like an elephant stampede up in this motherfucker. It's like, I loved that. And for the life of me, I can't remember the name of the place.
No, because I was distracted by California Man outside.
Yeah. California Man was just walking around like skin practically leathered by the sun and like long gray hair, but just, I don't know what he does, but it's like 11 a.m.
Yeah.
And he's out here not doing it.
Good question, because Ray started. Tristan Green. Okay. Yeah. Go to, restaurant. Yeah. Make me an omelet. It's like going to the freaking Mannheim. They can't even make an omelet. Can't even, the Mannheim. Alex Hemseth. The only thing they can do well is their waffle machine. And that was like, because it's the same, it's like school lunch like our college cafeteria waffle machine.
Yeah. It's like, you might as well not even call them waffles at that point.
Yeah.
They're waffles.
I can make them better at the Hampton Inn in the morning.
Yeah.
Oh, the Hampton Inn breakfast. That's going to be the barometer when this is all over, when the Hampton Inn brings back their hot buffet.
Yeah.
In the morning. Hell yes.
I mean, just continental me some breakfast. Or not continental, but like the, yeah.
Moving on.
God, I love breakfast.
Alex Hemseth. Recently, you responded to a question about a Lexus model with "It's just a RAV4." Is there any luxury brand that you think is worth the extra money? Ooh. Okay, you can go Acura Integra because there's no other alternative. But that's not the question. That's just a specific model that they put under the Acura brand, the Honda Integra. Worth the extra money. That implies that that it's still the same car from a different one, because Cadillac used to be Cadillac. They used to be their own thing. Lincoln, I think the Lincoln Town Car is far enough away from a Crown Vic to say it's worth it, because they're going to give you all sorts of stuff on that Lincoln. Yeah, I'm going with Lincoln. Because Cadillac, a GMC is going to be just as good or better than a friggin' Escalade. There's just going to be some extra fiddly bits. It's not, I don't see any Cadillac as having aged well, apart from like stuff in the 60s, maybe the 70s, but that's sort of ironic. Like the big quote unquote pimp mobiles, those Cadillacs. Yeah. We're going with Ford on this. I think the Lincolns are worth it. Henry. Thank you, Henry. Really enjoy the podcast. Thanks for doing this every week. Hey, thanks for chiming in. I really appreciate it. Guitar Player Day says, what's a good brand new car that's great for an enthusiast who lives in the Northeast? Oh, boy. That's under 30K or under. I would prefer a manual, but we'll settle for base model Impreza. When you set that price and you need all-wheel drive and a car enthusiast, you're talking base model Impreza, 5-speed manual. You can turn the traction control off. It's going to hang revs on you. There's no two ways around that, but that's going to be it. Base model Impreza, and the FB engine is pretty damn fun, and it's cheap, and you can put regular gas in it. And also, people aren't going to look at you and not going to expect to race you, but you could still have fun ringing that little thing out. Just make sure not to do it until the break-in period is over if you're going to buy new. You wanted a new car, and you wanted base model Impreza. Acoustic Theory. Supercharging just a troll. I love it.
I think that was the last one.
Yep.
I think another one came in, maybe.
We got one more. Randy Pullman with a generous donation just to say go Capitals. The Washington Capitals, or
I thought they were the Generals, unless the name changed. Unless are we talking? Well,
Harrisburg? Like, I think we have a hockey team in Harrisburg, the Harrisburg Capitals.
Possibly. That sounds vaguely familiar.
We have the Hershey Bears. We have the Reading Royals.
Yes. And
Harrisburg has a minor league hockey team, and I forget what.
And then we got the Kutztown Golden Bears.
Got the Golden Bears.
The Golden Bears.
With Capitals.
Part of a well-balanced breakfast.
Washington Capitals? Because, I think they got rid of their old name.
Maybe. I don't know. That's a good question.
Yeah.
Because I don't actually know.
Okay. We've been going for 2 hours and 40 minutes.
Holy!
So, what an afternoon. I got to go to the gym. My throat's killing me. I'm going to do that gargle thing again.
I actually have more of that in my bag if you want some more.
Sure.
Because I bought more of it thinking I had run out, but it turned out I put it in my bag.
Let me do the one more packet, and maybe by next week I'll get more leathery, or I'll go buy. There was some tea I really liked that I didn't buy.
And to anyone else, this is what it looks like. We are not being paid for this. It is literally just, it's a product that I enjoy. It works. It's Gargle Away by Nature's Genie, but it's spelled like a woman's name, Genie.
It tastes so good, you're not going to want to spit it out, but you better. Okay, so thank you to everybody who donated to Super Chat. Your money is going toward the travel budget, although we're not traveling anywhere because of these times. So instead, it's going toward a project car. I'm going to buy a shit box. Don't know what it's going to be, but it's going to be fun. And thank you to everybody who donates to Patreon. You're allowing RCR to have an operating budget much greater than the channel size that it really is. So thank you for that. Thank you to everybody who watches every single Monday. We'll have a new video out for you. The review is done, cut, and ready to go. And anybody?
No, it turns out there's not another pack in here. I took this little insert for an extra packet. So I just kept a box with me for no reason. Damn you, a box.
Thank you, and enjoy your Thursday. And we'll hopefully see you next week. So I'm Brian.
I'm Nick.
Have a good night, guys. Bye.
Good night.